Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 72 of Coffee with Den. Today, we're going to play with some open source artificial intelligence that I just barely got running yesterday-ish, so it should be fun. As usual, we got John. What's up, dude? We got
Hey.
What's up, dude? And I'm here. What's up, me? We've been working on last couple of episodes. We've mentioned blockchain cryptography, like Bitcoin themed tabletop game and what that would look like. And one of the things that we need, excuse me, one moment, is to clear my throat. One of the things we need for that is game assets. And John came up with a couple of interesting mechanics too. For example, what if you could go to an armorer in the game, and that armorer happened to be an AI that generates weapons and gear for you and stuff, right? So that's kind of what we're playing with. But before we jump into stable diffusion, what's up in the world? What's up with y'all?
Let's see. Pablo tanker exploded off of the coast of Malaysia.
Oh, really? Is that the second?
Yeah.
Recently,
You know what?
One of them was Strait of Hormuz last week, right?
Yeah, that was a capture, right? No, what they're doing is and they've been doing this for decades. I don't know if this is interesting to you guys.
No, I used to operate in that area. I spent some years in the Horn of Africa, Persian Gulf, Somalia, that area, with piracy stuff and Ukrainian, North Korean stuff. It's an interesting, I wouldn't go there at all.
Well, so what they're doing is, and they've been doing this for decades.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like say Venezuelan oil, Iranian oil, they can't sell it or whatever sanctions. So what they do is they get these ships that are flagged under a different country. They go into all these different maritime rules and laws, and they found these little loopholes, bizarre inspections and this kind of thing. And they go to these unique locations and they do a ship-to-ship transfer of oil out in the international waters. So the oil leaves one ship and goes into another ship. Well, when you empty the oil out of the ship, they got to reduce the potential for an explosion by reducing the amount of oxygen, because if there's too much oxygen in the empty bunker or container sections of the ship, boom. So that's what happened to this Pablo ship. And it's going to keep happening because now Russia's on the market. China doesn't matter. They'll buy oil from everybody. But, the U.S. is actually also kind of involved in this. So it's not like we're clean on this either. We've been knowing it's been going on for years, and speculators buy this oil all the time when it's in a tanker. So this is the first of many to start blowing up, because what they got to do is they got to get all that. They got to suppress the oxygen so no static electricity builds up. Once they empty a tanker, with the oil, otherwise it'll just blow up.
Yeah, it's nuts. We did. So I was never on oil tankers or whatever. And also, I love how we just jumped into stuff. Hope you got your coffee in, because we're amped up already. But yeah, I used to do. I was never on a tanker or whatever, but I did ship to ship refueling with the ship that I was on. And it's scary. It's a little nerve wracking, man, because not only of like all the stuff that you talked about, you have to also be traveling at a certain speed to be stable. You can't just be bobbing around floating in the ocean. You can't just park and transfer stuff, right? So both ships are having to steer exactly straight at speed. And if they get too far away, you break the cables and the lines. If you get too close together, you smash into each other. So yeah, even like military warships are nervous about it. Yeah. So it's not a fun thing. No, I hadn't seen that.
So anyway, that's how like you never know, but like Iranian oil is ending up in Houston because we need certain types of oil here in the U.S. and we have to refine it differently, and so it's just bizarre. So we actually have tankers going to Houston, and then those tankers are offloading and then filling up with, say, Texas crude and then going somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, but I have heard that before with Texas crude versus other types of oil from different locations and different purities or whatever is going on with that.
And like for different plastics or whatever. And then like, like say Mexico will send their oil to Houston and then we convert it into gasoline and then we send the gasoline back to Mexico.
A gasolina. Gotta get a gasolina. It's
Anyway,
one of those songs that gets stuck in my every time I fill up the gas at the pump in the car. It's like in my head for some reason. So, all right, exploding tankers. That's a thing. Yeah. Hey, why not? One more thing into the mix. John, what's up in New York, bro? You're welcome back to New York. John was visiting recently. We played, we watched a friend play disc golf, and I got sick. I'm still sick. So my throat's a little scratchy, and I'm not feeling too great. So pardon me if I get more boring than usual. But yeah, John, welcome back to New York, and what's up with you?
So apparently while I was gone, New York flooded. And like Central Park, we have a tendency to do that. We'll leave, and then all the bad things happen while we're gone.
You're just holding it down so much while you're there.
Yeah. And by bad things happen is New York got a bunch of rain. It's not that bad of a thing, but apparently Central Park got like the amount of rain they normally get in a month in a day.
Shit,
which is great because it doesn't really rain that much here. It's kind of fucking great, especially compared to Florida, where it rained constantly.
Yeah, it's springtime now, and you were here. You saw.
Yeah, you can set your clock by it's going to rain at 5 o'clock, and it's going to rain at 8 in the morning. Like those are the two times. No, big stuff happening in the world though. I don't know if how much you guys like to keep up with the news and stuff. There's some really crazy shit out there. New world chess champion.
New what?
There's a new world chess champion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, I ain't been keeping up with it myself.
See, I feel like, people just need to take a personal responsibility and really honestly spend time staying up to date with current events, because that's what makes us a person that belongs in society is by knowing what's actually happening to each other. And if we don't know about things like the World Chess Championship happening, then I don't know what to tell you. I
mean, this is like a long-standing human civilization tradition, Yeah. The battle of minds over a chessboard.
Yeah, chess got like really big, like after the Queen's Gambit, and then it got really big during COVID because people were just sitting at home doing nothing. And then apparently there was a huge spike at the beginning of this year for some reason. There was like 1 million new chess players or something crazy around the world. But I don't know. The World Chess Championship drama was pretty cool. I'm telling you right now. Go check it out if you haven't. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but China wins.
I
think that spoils it completely.
My experience with chess is typically has been the same as my experience with the game Civilization, which is that I find new and interesting ways to lose every time.
I like that game. It's been a long, long time since I played it, but I like it. Oh, by the way, there is a Go. Evidently, the game Go that and the AI has won now, but there's some way, I guess, some humans figured out a way to beat AI in Go through some kind of hack. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I heard that this past week, but I didn't hear about the chess.
I don't even know how Go is played. That's one of those games that I look at and I'm like, what is even happening? To be fair, I haven't done any research. I could look it up. There's probably a rule book somewhere where you can learn. I haven't even attempted. It just looks like confusing to me. So, well, cool. And a little bit of ship spotting too. John, you got a new ship in the harbor there, right? On the
right? And we were talking about ships. Wow.
Yeah, we were just trying to identify which one it is. So you got the aircraft carrier in the front there, but if you look behind it, it looks like the new Freedom class littoral combat ship, the LCS. Right there behind it.
Wow.
So we got some sailors in port. That'll be fun. Wow. I was just checking out.
Upload that information to Russia.
Yes. Actually,
Yeah.
there's a balloon going by right now, so I'm sure they got it.
They got it. And then there's all of the people looking out their windows in Manhattan. It's like, yep, there it is. So it isn't exactly a secret, but it looks like it's this ship right here.
It's I love how it's parked where usually the cruise ships are, like, you know, the fun ones, not the battle cruise ships. And so it just looks like the most rinky dink like cruise. And this is like what Gilligan Island's like.
Yeah, they're not luxury ships. They're not comfortable.
Yeah. It looks like it's a poorly made tennis court in the back.
Yeah.
This is what pickleball is. I still don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pickleball ship.
So I wasn't on an LCS, but I was on one that had a landing pad, as you called it, and an aircraft helo hangar right there. We would get bored, as you do when you're floating in the ocean for months at a time with no land around. And we would have on Sundays what was called a steel beach picnic. We'd get a barbecue, some beach chairs. We'd have a talent show. We'd just hang out and have a little steel beach picnic out there.
You'd have a talent show? You have to tell me more about that. You can't just say that. And then
I got third place in a talent show with a bunch of people who were terrible at talent.
What were you doing? You show them computers? Like,
I had to team up with two other people who were better at me than at playing the guitar because I was just starting to learn, and we played wagon wheel. So it was basically what do you call it? Karaoke as a talent show.
I didn't know you played guitar.
I don't, and I got third place.
Your brother is an amazing guitar player.
Yeah.
Sailors obviously have other talents.
I went computers. My brother went music. That was the divergence. And I like to think that we're both we're equally good at the thing that we do. He's an amazing musician.
Nice.
So yeah, there's what's up there.
Talk about ships. Iran has built, I think, an aircraft carrier for drones.
Oh yeah. That makes sense, though.
Yeah, that's where the warfare is going. Drones.
That's like
mechanical warfare with non-human.
I don't know if you ever play StarCraft or not, but there's the carrier, the Protoss carrier. I imagine it's like that. It's just swarming around it all the time.
That is pretty cool.
We also have cruise missiles that can be launched, and then they call it loitering. They just kind of like loiter around on top of the ship in like a stacked pattern until there's a call for fire from like Army Marine Corps on the boots on the ground, and then we can upload coordinates to it while it's already in the air, and it's like, okay, whoosh, and it goes.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's shit that's is getting weird and wild. Cool. That was coming out whenever I was still in back in 12, so
I have a question. How does a coach a cribbage match?
How does a coach how much wood does a woodchuck chuck?
Very crabbily.
Cribbage. I don't know. Cribbage?
Because they're flying all over the place,
Which one's
Quidditch?
Quidditch. Oh.
Yes, from
Lord of the Potter.
Their coach is if you think about it, their coach is on the team, right?
Oh, he's playing, right? Or
Yeah,
she?
the coach is one of the players. So like in the later games, like Harry Potter becomes the coach, so he's running around. But you coach during practice. It's kind of like if you ever watch soccer games. I really don't think coaches are doing all that much in soccer games. They're just kind of yelling, and that's about it. But no, if you're on the other side, you can't hear them, and they're like, "Get the ball faster!" It's not.
Sports better than the other team.
Yeah.
Remember, no hands.
Yeah, coaching a soccer team for middle schoolers, that's a big deal. But coaching a soccer team in the Premier League, mostly the coach is just yelling at refs.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm not gonna yell at somebody with a wand. Madam Hooch is she's kind of mean. That's not somebody I want on my bad side. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it's more of a risk there.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna be biased towards your team when they make calls. They have magic.
Right.
The sticks.
The players are calling them they're doing formations and stuff, and they're talking on the field. If you think about
Dave, what's your shirt? Playa Linda?
Yeah, Playa Linda Brewing Company. This is
brewing company. I didn't see the brewing company.
Yeah. I go down and watch rocket launches and stuff because I'm about 3 hours away, 2.5, 3 hours away from where they launch the rockets and stuff. What's it called? Kennedy Space Center, the Space Coast. And so that's a brewery down there that's pretty baller. They got a kitchen and stuff. So we have this little mini tradition of going out there, especially if it's on a weekend launch or something. We'll go out there, watch the rocket launch, and then go to the brewery and get a beer and a sandwich or whatever we want to get. So I've seen a bunch of SpaceX launches out there, which
I'm
is
gonna
pretty
text
cool.
myself. There you go, Texas. There you go,
Texas.
Highway Patrol, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah, I just watched Smokey and the Bandit this weekend for the first time. I watched Smokey and the Bandit again for the first time since I was like a teenager. This weekend. Texas Smokies. But yeah, so that's what the shirt is. It's a beer shirt.
It kind of looks like a 1980s, 70s or something look. And at first, without the brewing company, I was thinking it was some kind of console.
Oh yeah, it looks like an Atari logo, doesn't
Atari,
it?
there you go.
Yeah, that font at least for sure.
Mhm.
But that's probably what they were doing. It's like, oh, we'll get him with the.
I think they're going for like a NASA.
Yeah.
This is for the Artemis. I just hit my desk. Did you notice?
I think
This is for the Artemis launch.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a special shirt for that one, for the SLS.
I think the NASA and the Atari logos look the same, right?
That would make sense
It's almost
because it's like
the same.
space, futuristic, that kind of thing.
They just put like the dash.
I'm not going to hit my 30 minutes, so I don't know if I'm going to get any lot for this being on.
No, you get. We don't prorate. We just if you get the majority of the half hour, you're in.
Yeah,
I got my 16-year-old going to take him down to DPS to get his permit for driving.
Nice.
DPS.
Yeah, we call it DPS here, Department of Public Safety, not DMV.
You know, speaking of games and DPS, we've got a tabletop game we're working on, and that's what's been going on for me. I was talking about y'all's life. Hold on. Let's talk about mine for a second. Sorry, I was adjusting the fan because it's hot in here. I got this AI thing working, and before you go, since you got to go right now, did you want to throw a prompt at me? Because we're going to create some assets and see what it comes up with.
I was making a joke. It's in the coffee. If you update the coffee thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't always.
I think Quakers
jokes.
should have weapons.
Quakers, like the oats people.
Yeah, and they should have weapons, like a box of cereal or something.
Oh, dude.
Tyrants should have peasants.
Is that like pocket sand?
You know,
Quakers having
could have
having
money
weapons is just a
printing
monk.
machines.
A monk.
A Quaker with a weapon, isn't that just like a monk?
That's a class already. Yeah.
I like it.
I
like
think it's
how
a
taken
different
to the next
religion.
level.
Different
Yeah.
religion. Monks typically Catholic. Well, there's Buddhist monks.
Yeah, that's Quakers is a lifestyle, like it's a
Quakers are definitely pacifists.
I think that's the juxtaposition, is like a pacifist that is super good with weapons. So I think that's a nice spin on it. Instead of seeing a bunch of Shaolin monks, it's a bunch of Quaker
a bunch of pacifists who will not participate.
But if you hurt them or their family, they come back at you with a vengeance.
Yeah, they don't. They're pacifists, but they do hold a grudge.
It's like the movie Taken.
Yeah.
I'm nice.
Don't mess with them.
Fuck with my family.
Interesting factoid. The first Indian reservation, Native American reservation, actually was sold by the Native Americans. It was in New Jersey, and they sold it to Quakers, and then they moved their tribe to upstate New York because the interaction with the
People. Yeah.
Caucasian people was altering their tribe's culture. So the
it did, didn't it?
reservation actually turned out to be very successful for the Native Americans. Interesting.
Yeah, some things that start out successful don't end up that way, but they got a good start, I guess.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, here's what I ended up with yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know if you remember I forget which episode it was, but John was generating some characters on World Blockchain and it ran up against the freemium limit where he couldn't throw any more prompts at it.
Yeah.
So in the interest of getting a bunch of stuff, like we got to kind of play with it for a while until we get stuff we're happy with. So stuff I want to play with is, and I'll explain what's on the screen here in a second, but we need to make, of course, characters for people to play with, but also world building assets. And this is where I'm hoping some people can jump in. We can start a thread that says, hey, here's what we need. We need a Bitcoin city. We need an Ethereum city. What do those things look like? Can someone describe what an Ethereum city or a Bitcoin city or a Monero city would look like and what features it would have, right? So then we can use those sort of text descriptions in the replies to generate an actual game world, right, that you can interact with in the game. And then also things like an armory, that you can go to generate assets. Maybe you pay some sort of game currency to get, 5 AI-generated weapons created based on a prompt that you can give in the game, and you buy one of them, and that's the asset you get. And then, later on in the future, once it's kind of playable, once we've demoed it a few times, we could even, have a little companion app or something where those are minted as NFTs, and you can take them with you, or maybe use them in a different campaign or something. So just some ideas to get us going here. And what I ended up with, go ahead.
I was saying, I picture Ethereum as like this modern city, a Bitcoin city. I picture like the streets like cobblestone made of gold or Bitcoin gold color. The walls buildings could be built with old mining rigs.
Oh, nice. Because those are like blocks, bricks.
Yeah.
Bro.
And Monero City
dude.
would be something more along the lines of something dark, almost dystopian,
That would be interesting if it was a wall, if the bricks were all ASICs with the fans actually operational.Maybe they're old, so they don't, they're not, powered and noisy, but
they're
the fans
from the wind, just
the fans are on, so it's your ventilation ducting and stuff.
There you go. Be like underground
that.
Or something, or maybe Monero's underground. I don't know. There you go. Monero City would be underground.
Yeah, I never saw Lincoln versus the Zombies, but that was a cool concept that I've seen it advertised and stuff. So I ended up with.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. I ended up with one called. So the open source AI that I'm working with is called Stable Diffusion, and if you have specifically an NVIDIA GPU, preferably like a 3080 or better, with 10 gigabytes of VRAM or better, you can run this out of the box. If you have hardware that's not so good, there's some things you can do. It's slower, obviously, but you can still get it running. And what I ended up doing is finding a fork of that software from someone called on GitHub called Automatic 1111. I highly recommend this one. I played with a different one before this, and it was good because it had a web UI and stuff, which is what I was looking for, so that we could do it sort of in this context live. But go with this one, especially if it's the first time messing with it. It was my first time. The installation script is super easy. You do need the appropriate hardware running on your system, but I found it to be pretty freaking cool. And it gives you this web UI that I have with knobs and sliders and different things that you can play with. And it also allows you to download. So there's a standard model that comes pre-trained where the AI has been trained on, what is what is a building? What is a garden rake? What is, but there's also custom training models that are pre-compiled for you that you can download. And I've got one that's specifically made for RPG assets. It's a role-playing game, artist tools training model, right? And you can find them on, there's two main websites. One of them is called Hugging Face, and the other one's called, however you pronounce that, CIVITAI, civitai.com. I don't know. This is one called I Can't Believe It's Not Photography. It's a different training model for photorealistic things. And with Automatic's web UI, you can literally just from the drop down menu, you can change which training model you're using on the fly. So if you want to create things that are, maybe there's a model that does better for automobiles, so you want to create some with that training model, and then you want to switch back to the one that's more RPG character, that kind of thing. So there's a quick little intro of what this is. I won't explain all the sliders and knobs. We'll just kind of do it. I will say that there's 2 fields. They don't all have this. Different forks have different features, but I have 2 fields. One is a positive prompt and one is a negative prompt. So you can put in your prompt, comma separated, to combine them together into like one thing to give it different keywords. And then you can do a negative prompt too, like what not to be, what to de-emphasize,
okay.
which I thought was pretty cool.
Cool.
Excuse me again. So as you can see, if you're looking at what I did this morning, I asked it to illustrate an armory that's futuristic, technical, sci-fi. And it didn't really do that. It gave me a couple of characters that I guess you could say that's in an armory. They got boxes behind them and stuff like that. So I need to be a little bit more specific.
It definitely looks like an armory. Just ask for like with no characters, an armory with no characters in it, because it's going to give you. Because most people want character generation,
or how about
right? If you type in a thing, they're going to put a person.
Especially this model is specifically RPG stuff, so characters is a big part of it. What's that?
about using the word warehouse armory, or something like that? Just a thought.
Well, I'd like it so that it's not just like a warehouse, like an
okay.
I was thinking about this for like the show. Like I don't want it to just be like an empty warehouse.
Oh, I got
you. Like this is where you go to buy your weapons. This is where you go to. There's the person behind the counter that's like, "What do you need, Neo?" Guns, lots of them.
All right, I asked not to do characters or humans. I did say I guess that's technically not a human, but this is more of an armory.
Oh, there you go.
So we've got stuff on the wall. We've got tables. We don't really have a sales desk, which is kind of what I wanted, but I didn't ask for that either, right?
Yeah, maybe add some color.
Okay.
It's very like steel. This is like the GE appliance section of the armory. It's all stainless steel walls.
Nice.
What do you call that?
Well, put in the style of.
Okay.
Like how we did. All I know is what Greg showed us. So
that was a different AI too. So we have to kind of learn our friend here. So in the style of what? Of what? Cyberpunk 2077?
Sure.
Let's see.
You can add other styles. So like not every city is going to be Cyberpunk, and not every city is going to be. Oh, that looks super similar to the one from 2 ago.
Yeah, it really wants to put characters in this thing. So let's keep this the same, but let's switch the training model. Let's run the vanilla training model, right? The one that it's the official sort of general purpose one, and let's generate based on that and see what it comes up with. And this will show us the difference between what different training models can give us. All right, so this one doesn't have characters, but this is more of an industrial thing. So maybe we're describing it differently, right? We really want an armory here. Let's go back out and let's just say a storefront, right? Which is what an armory is if we want to go buy stuff, maybe. A storefront with a weapons salesman. And let's just keep it simple and see what that gives us. Yeah, no, this is that general purpose training model too. But that look,
when you say storefront,
it's a storefront.
Like
it's window shopping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe get like super hyper specific? So it's like an armory with battle axes and highly technical guns and lasers and grenades, and like list all the things that would be in it. Manuals, and a creepy, slimy
weapons dealer,
missing an eye.
Missing an eye, battle axes, guns, grenades, books,
Lasers.
lasers, merchant, yeah. All right, I'm going to run this one, but then I'm going to switch back to the RPG specific one, I think. Yeah, the general one's not. This is a museum piece. It's not getting what we're doing here. So let's go back to the RPG artist tools and run that again. All right.
That's close.
It's a little bit more kind of understanding what we want here.
That's better. And then add like, I like the door in this too. That's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
How it has that like kind of door.
I like all the guns underneath the counter too, standing up.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put like in the style of what was that? Like the synth
Fallout 4?
No, what's the one that Greg used? It was like synth
or
something like that.
Yeah, maybe in the style of synth, not synth wave, synth.
Cool, guys. I gotta go.
All right, see you, dude.
I like
You got your 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I can't remember what Greg's
we'll see ya.
thing was, but
you can say like Wild West or something.
I'll call it synthwave. I don't know what that's gonna do, but let's see. We have literal characters. All right, what do we got here?
That top left looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is what I sort of imagined. It was like in a game, it's like this is your character at a desk, like you want to buy some guns, that kind of thing.
I think also with the RPG one, it's going to try to give you characters and not places. So
it also does. Now these can all be referenced. If I go to image browser, I can come back and look at the stuff that we've made. Oops, hold on. Image browser, previous page. So these are all saved, so we can go back and look at everything we've created, and we can even upscale them and stuff from here. So all these examples we can go back and look at. Here's some that I did yesterday of like robots and stuff.
Yeah, the robot thing that you put on the Coffee with Den page, I thought was pretty cool. The robot.
Yeah, this fella here. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yep. All right, so there's some initial examples of I like this a lot. So if we're in the game where you're the DM, this could be the setting where we're like, okay, shop till you drop, that kind of thing.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, starting point.
I think also like taverns and stuff is going to be really useful.
Yeah. Stuff. So let's see what a tavern in the style of Elder Scrolls would look like. Right. Let's move around a little bit and see, because I'm interested. Here's the main thing: is I'm interested in what types of things we can come up with and what it understands. You know what I mean? Synth core. That's what Hyperion Frequency said. That's what Greg said. Synth core, I think, is what the style was.
Yeah.
And so Hyperion says, name a character in a setting that's close to what you want. So here's a tavern. But I could also say the inside of a tavern in a style of Elder Scrolls. And there's the inside, right? And that's not bad. That looks like something you might walk into in Skyrim or Oblivion or something like that, right? So I think maybe in the style of, let's just change the in the style of part and see what it understands. In the style of, let's do Cyberpunk again.
I wonder if we could create our own style. So if we sit there and type in like a very accurate description of what it is, and then train the AI to go, and this style is called John Squeeze. And I like that. That looks pretty sick, man.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Cool.
It's got good reflections. It's got, that's not bad.
The lights and stuff are more futuristic.
We could ultimately design our own training model. There is a section. So this is what I like about Automatic's web UI. There is a training section over here where you can process, you can do image training give it examples of stuff, come up with your own training model, it's called a checkpoint. And then you can even merge 2 checkpoints together. So we could take, for example, the RPG artist tools, and we could merge our own custom training model into that training model, so we can have one unified one. So if we find several, we can smush them all together.
Thank you. That's what a training model. That's what a model is.
Well, yeah.
So if we just take their training model and be like, but we are going to add this little caveat to it, and therefore end up making our own model.
So other stuff that you can do is we can take this, for example, and then there's a button here that says send to image. So this is text to image generation. Now we can also take this image as an input. Instead of text, we can say, cool, this image, let's send it to image. And instead of that prompt, I'm just going to write the prompt highly detailed. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say stable diffusion upscale. We're going to upscale it by 2. I'm going to change a couple of quick things. Boom. Based on just what I kind of learned yesterday, that should work. And then I want to do this, and then let's do it. So let's generate this. It shouldn't take too long. This one takes a little bit longer. In the background, I can see in my terminal, it's like slicing the image up and processing different parts of it and upscaling it. Sometimes it fails miserably. Sometimes it's pretty cool. So we'll see what it comes up with.
Nice.
All right, so here's the new image it gave us. That's a higher resolution, or it's supposed to be. But you see, this is what I have to learn how to avoid. There's these purple splotches, right? So this is coming up into some limitations that I don't know how to deal with yet. But look at the reflections of this compared to this. Oh, I can't bring that image up again. What do I do? Here we go. So this one's kind of grainy, which is fine, right? See the grain in there? With the new image, the upscaled image, it's pretty clear. It's pretty smooth, right? So you can upscale stuff after you've created it. And that's sort of the workflow is you create a 512 by 512 image, and then you say, cool, take this one and upscale it. And there's different upscaling engines that can do better or worse. Yeah. So I can upscale basically by 2x at a time. Based on this is where the hardware you have is the limitation. If I had a render farm of like 100 different GPUs, I could do 1000x, of course. But if I do like 4x right now, it just crashes. It doesn't work. It doesn't crash. It just fails. So there are limits. But you can upscale 2x, and then you can upscale 2x again, and then you can upscale 2x again and keep running it. You can do that. Cool. So that'll go in our image browser that we can look at, right? We can go back to that. Here's some more examples of characters. So I wanted to see how it would do with like an elf character.
That's pretty sick.
That turned out pretty good.
It doesn't really want to use a lot of color, it seems. And
it seems so, yeah.
Color takes longer to render. So I wonder if that's in the RPG too. I mean, not in the. I wonder if that's part of the training module or not.
Colorful. Let's give it a very generic, colorful fantasy.
Yeah.
Character. Negative prompt. Dark. Black. Gray. Monochrome. We don't want that.
Lisa wasn't at the show last week, right? No.
I don't think so. No, she wasn't. No. Bright.
Also, at some point, you're gonna have to give me a better headshot because the one you have with your dog does not work for everything. And the only other one I have is the crazy one. So
use the one.
I'll use the crazy one. That's what they got.
Yeah, go use the one from my LinkedIn profile. I just added that recently.
Okay, I can do that.
So it's colors, right?
I need to. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I like that. I wish you could see. All right. So is there a way to be like same thing, but like zoom out so you can see like the hands and feet and like proportions and shit?
Yeah, you can do. So there's a plugin that I don't have called Dream something. But it's a portrait photo booth kind of thing where you can actually give it, for example, 5 characters of your dog or 5 photographs of your dog. So it learns what your dog looks like, and you can put it in any setting. And you could also do that with things you create like this and put it in any setting. So with this, actually, I'm going to change the aspect ratio, because if you change the ratio to portrait, it tends to give you all the hands and legs and everything too. So there you go, right? So there's another character, but since I changed it to be a portrait aspect ratio, it's giving me basically the full character.
Yo, those feet, what the hell?
Yeah, they're flower feet, man. I didn't say anything about what type of character. I just said a character.
Gotcha. That's pretty funny. I like
right? A colorful fantasy character. So we can keep that, and we can tack stuff onto the beginning of it, right? Comma separated. So now let's go back to, for example, a punk in a futuristic city. And let's see. And honestly, I'm kind of learning with you here myself, like how to do this.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So now we have color again, and now we have a punk in a futuristic city, right? So we're getting more, and it's a full. It's not just a headshot. You know what I mean? So these are things we can keep in mind about how to. Yeah, it's clearly a yeah. The previous one, yeah.
Let's see what I like that. That's actually really cool. I think I'll probably end up using that.
This character?
Yeah. That's pretty
yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
I think the background of this city might be a little too advanced for what we're doing.
Yeah, maybe instead of futuristic city, I should say a.
It's more like post, like especially like think about what city you want them in. So like I've already got what all the different like factions are gonna like be stylized like.
Perfect.
Like,
good.
That's better. That's pretty good. But that's actually really good. Damn.
Yeah. We're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere.
This is freaking depressing.
And it is, right? Because this is all
so many graphic
we're not infringing on any IP by using this in whatever we want to use it in. It's all open source and it's all generated on the fly.
Yeah.
So we can use it for the game. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, share pull up my screen really quick.
You like whenever I like when I get excited too. You know what I mean? That's my highlight of Coffee with Den. It's like, whoa, look at that. Because if I'm not having fun, what's the point? Yeah, what do we got? Interesting.
This is gonna be the thumbnail for the whale one video. I know this is too funny.
I love that Greg's in a cloud. What is going on there? Yeah.
All right, so I have 2 things of Greg, and there's 3 pictures when you Google Greg's name, and one of them I can't use because it's like a glamour shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, so if we, all right, we're gonna move it. Here it is. These are the 3 pictures.
Yeah, well, that's his ape too. I love that his ape comes up. His grandpa.
Really?
That's his grandpa ape.
I can start using that then. That's pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
That's his Twitter profile pic as well.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from. Is Twitter.
Yeah, that's funny. Yep.
That's really so. Like, whenever I use it, I'll use this one and then get rid of this stuff and just leave the part that says his name on it.
Perfect.
Or because the thing is, it's like I can use that one or I can use this one because I don't think he wants me to use the that picture.
The dating profile picture.
Yeah, the dating profile picture.
That's his grinder. Yeah.
GitHub Online is where it's from, right there. So I was like, all right, I'll use one of the more professional ones because like there's nothing else. This is kind of cool. I don't know what this is from, but yeah, I guess he does use it here.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the same picture, so maybe he doesn't mind it as much. But I think it's just because somebody had to make this and he never sent them a headshot, so this is what they Googled and what they found.
I think you recognize this based on that's what you're doing, so that's probably what someone else did.
Exactly. And here is the same other picture. I guess it's the DGH profile picture. So yeah, I had to use. So he's black and white in all of his pictures, so I had to put him in a cloud to make it look like he's got or something.
That's great.
Yeah.
He's the observer. He is kind of an observer personality too. Like he just watches what everyone's doing across the internet to get like his finger on the pulse. So that's great.
I get that more then. Lisa wasn't
Yeah.
there, so she's gone. I got to figure out where to put me. Maybe I want to figure out a way to make me into a whale or something would be funny. Or riding the whale. Oh, if I could find a way to get a picture of me riding the whale, that'd be really great.
Yeah, yeah. So if we train, here's where, you know, Hyperion Frequency is talking about getting all the models that work together to build our own sort of little, like, so that it understands what our game world is. You could do the same thing with a model based on knowing who the world blockchain people are. And then you could say, you know, like John Brandt's riding a whale, and it would illustrate that.
That's because you can upload like a bunch of pictures of yourself and be like, dude, me doing this thing. Oh, that'd be really cool. Can we actually do that?
Yeah, you can.
Get like 3D model pictures of everybody and then be like, make me.
Yeah. So right now, I think heritage.com is the one that's doing that, where you can say it'll render you in a bunch of like historical situations, but it uses your actual likeness, like an old painting, to where it looks like maybe it's a great uncle, you know, but it's you basically.
Very cool.
Yeah. So they're definitely doing that. There's a face swap feature with this one that I have that I've never used that we can play with, where we can get, for example, this character, and we could actually face swap whoever into it, that kind of thing.
Wait, are you serial?
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody, because one of the cool things I think in D&D is like or in any video game, right, is when you can actually make the model look like you. And I'm awful at that. Whenever I play games online, I'm really bad. At making like the models look like me. I don't know what my face looks like if I'm not looking at a mirror.
Like all the scrolls, sliders and stuff whenever you're doing your initial character development. Yeah.
No clue what to do. So like it's sweet that I'm gonna get rid of the whale and put the dragon chain logo in there. It'd be cool. Like
yeah, I want to train it on like the JoJo, the mascot, the dragon chain mascot. I want to give it a JoJo the dragon training, you know, because there's a bunch of imagery already in the dragonchain.store. With, you know, with the stickers and the mugs and stuff, there's a bunch of different poses, and sometimes he's holding a laptop, or sometimes he has Trump hair, or, you know, sometimes he has Bernie glasses, or whatever it is. So there's already like training model stuff in there.
That's pretty cool.
So cool. Now, what you said you had some, I'm interested in the like the game world as far as the cities and stuff too. I did some tests on, you know, creating a city, or like a zoomed out picture of a city with a castle or something. You know what I mean? You said you had some descriptions sort of fleshed out already.
Yeah.
Do you want to see what the RPG artist tools training model can do with cities instead of characters?
Sure. I have to go find my notes. It's somewhere.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
But like, we can look at that. I can just describe them now.
Yeah. It's just.
I mean, I think the Bitcoin world is going to be the easiest one to describe.
Mm-hmm. They're big on like citadels and like
it's a citadel made of gold. Imagine if Donald Trump created a city. It's really kind of.
So it's gold plated.
Yeah, everything's gold plated. With let's see what else.
Gold plated infrastructure.
Yeah, and then what else?
Shiny, strong. I don't know.
This is going to be like the more technologically advanced city, so probably closer to like the cyberpunk world if you wanted to add that descriptor in there.
Yeah,
synth punk or whatever it was called.
Synth core. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can start here and then maybe zoom out or give it different parameters. Okay, this is also in portrait mode. I might want to go to landscape mode. This is like Wizard of Oz in the future.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's not bad, right?
I don't really understand how you get in there, but it's pretty neat. It looks
I think down here, I think this is enormous. Yeah. And I think that down here is like a little bitty car ant. You know, this reminds me of the new Blade Runner a little bit.
Yeah. I would say scale. Also it's
So let me swap that and do it again.
I'm also gonna have it like on a mountain, like on a rock ledge, and then also it needs to be like, it also needs to be like much smaller. Like the buildings aren't huge, right? There's no because it should be closer to like architecturally the size of like a D&D world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no skyscrapers. It's closer to like that's pretty sweet.
Still got skyscrapers.
Yeah,
but it's on a rock ledge now.
If I can make the buildings a little bit smaller.
Okay, so instead of a small city, I'll say a small town. Let's just try to give it hints about stuff. You know what I mean? There we go. It's getting better. It's getting closer.
I like that a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. That's and I like it. It's like it looks like almost like it's floating.
Yeah, you can tell there's some structure down here, but it's like over the edge hanging here. Yeah.
And what I also really like is that there's more buildings and stuff on the ground below, because basically what it is like Bitcoin's definitely going to be like a maximalist like kind of mentality. So the people that don't have any are just fucked.
Are you describing Dubai? Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Dubai just if you put Dubai and Castle Rock together, that's probably I think that's probably
here's how you get in, by the way.
I think that's probably just what Castle Rock looks like. You have energy teleport into Citadel as long as you have a token.
Yeah, that's the gated access, is like you have the right token to get in, kind of thing.
You've got to have like the right seed phrase or some shit.
Yeah, or like a certain even now. Here's what's interesting about the Bitcoin city versus the Ethereum city, right? If you think about, this is what I want to lean into in the world building, in the gameplay and stuff. Is there's specific personality traits of the different communities. They're very tribal a lot of times. And with Bitcoin City, you cannot use an NFT as like a key card. But in the Ethereum City, you totally would use an NFT as a key card, because that makes sense. If you have the right NFT, then you have access, right? If you have like lot to the gaming layer, you can go into Gaming City. Otherwise, you're boxed out. But Bitcoiners don't believe in that shit, right? They're so anti-NFT and they're so anti, I don't know, innovation a little bit, if I'm being honest, but them's fighting words. But yeah, leaning into that a little bit about like how you get in or how you're authorized, granted access. Maybe you have to have a certain, a certain age. Like you have to have a wallet that has old coins in it, a certain age. You can't have just gotten them. Maybe you have to have held Bitcoin for a month to get in or something. I don't know. But yeah, leaning into that. So it can do cities. That's good. Good to know, because I haven't really tried to do that yet.
Because that's going to be like, honestly, that's like kind of a harder one to find, because of what we're doing is so niche. Like normally I would just go steal graphics from DeviantArt or wherever the hell else you can find stuff. But like, since what we're doing is so hyper specific, it's hard to do that. I wonder if you could add in like Bitcoin as well. Like if you were to reference Bitcoin.
Maybe. I don't know if it knows about Bitcoin.
Can you be like, hey, go on the internet, learn everything there's to learn about Bitcoin?
I don't think so. Not yet. We're not there yet. I mean, the answer is yes, if you are Microsoft. They can do that with theirs. See how upscaling can dramatically change it, though, sometimes? You see this? It's more cartoony. It's more smooth.
Yeah.
It's got more of a castle structure here.
It got rid of all the stuff underneath as well.
Yeah. There's stuff you can do to avoid that. This CFG scale is one of them. Also, reusing the seed. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Let's try to run this again. Let's upscale it again with different settings. Yeah, legacy coins to enter different parts of the city. This is where, and even though Bitcoiners hate ordinals because it's NFTs on Bitcoin and they hate NFTs, ordinals would literally be would be legacy coins to enter the city kind of thing. So here's a second attempt, a little bit different. So we could play with this and generate a bunch of them until we landed on the one that we wanted to use.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
But like even that has some splotchiness,
This is an amazing start for sure. Can you add? I don't. I want it to still be a little bit more connected,
Okay, so let's.
or honestly, even a little bit more like medieval. Be kind of
Okay, so let's do small medieval town. I love that it's medieval and futuristic. Let's see what happens. How do you spell medieval?
and then you break the internet.
Midi. How do you spell that shit? There we go. That's one of those words that I never remember how to spell for some reason. Let's break it. Let's give it opposing. Future medieval.
Oh, that's it, dude.
That's dope.
That's it.
There's stairs coming all the way up. And it's got a you could easily cut this out from the background, you know. It's got pretty decent defined lines. Oh, there's actually another plugin to remove the background to just do it.
I mean, I also have a background mover.
Okay, cool.
That's how I use all of your crappy headshots. So I just find pictures of you on the internet, and then yeah, if I'm such a curmudgeon. If I'm happy, then it's doing great. That's pretty funny. I thought you might. Ooh, that's you're fine. Whatever.
We can upscale this later or something. Just save that in the pocket for Bitcoin City as a starting point.
Also, if you can send me the original headshot that you use for LinkedIn, because of LinkedIn, it makes it into a circle.
Oh, right.
So then, like, the back of your head and your hair is like cut out in a weird way. Nobody's going to notice besides.
It's the one where I'm holding a little raccoon that I ended up having to get a rabies shot after that picture was taken. It's a cute photo, but it led to a rabies vaccination. It was a raccoon that I found.
You should have a rabies.
And I just picked it up and I started hanging out with it, and it was licking me on the face and shit. It was cute. I was drunk. It was fun. You know what I mean? It seemed like a good idea at the time, and it was cute and cuddly. Like, how are you going to see a baby raccoon that's looking at you with his rabid rabies eyes that's also cute and adorable and not pick it up and be friends, you know?
I get it. I understand.
All right. But I'll send you that. Yeah. This is good. This is good. Now, you want to try Ethereum?
Yeah. What did I have as? I'm trying to remember what I had as like the parameters for Ethereum. Let's try Dragon Chain next.
Oh, interesting. What would that be? So this would be utilitarian. This would be
actually no. Let's do Monero, because I think it was like
Monero privacy.
Monero,
yeah,
it was Monero,
like a pirate
piracy
city or something. You know what I mean? Because that's Monero is the default currency used on all darknet markets.
Yeah.
So it's heavily used by everyone, including bad guys. So cool. All right. So keeping the same setting as medieval-ish. Maybe that's a new genre, future medieval.
Yeah, I found my. I found the map that Dakota started drawing. It looked
cool.
Pretty cool. Here, I'll see if I can show you what it looks. How it looks.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up. What do we got? Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. So we can plot these cities on locations on the map.
Yeah, and then you want to see what mine looked like? This is my really crappy version that I was like, I drew it really quickly and was like, this is what I wanted to look like. And then my wife, who actually knows is an actual artist, started doing it. This is what mine was. So,
that looks like me drawing a StarCraft map.
I think it's like I like to do this, and then I get like more specific for it. But I just wanted to like kind of
Okay, so
you got, like your Monero Islands, and it's in the shape of
and then you got Tether's got its own thing over there, and then you got Bitcoin Island. So this is more archipelago map, I guess, right?
What archipelago?
Is that not how you say that word?
I don't know what that word is.
It's a bunch of islands.
Oh, all right.
Like the Darwin place.
It's more like a chain of islands as opposed
archipelago. I don't know.
It's like if the world kept splitting. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the idea, because when you look at like a lot of those maps, like if you think about Westeros and stuff, they don't ever show you the entire world. They show you this little area because that's where their world is. They haven't discovered anywhere else. So yeah, Dragon Chain. I think it was going to be more like but we're doing Monero, right? Yeah, we're doing
Yeah,
Monero.
a highly
So
secure and private medieval town on an island.
they're like pirates, right?
Pirate theme. Um, guards at the gate, maybe.
I'd get rid of that.
No.
That's just
pirate theme. Okay, what else? So it's Monero. So it is going to be. So it's going to be like. Also, yeah, it's opposite of guards at the gate. It's open to everyone, right? So it's like
it's like Tortuga.
Open layout. I don't remember what Tortuga is.
Tortuga is where like the pirates would. It's the pirate island where they would all meet up, and that's where like Jack Sparrow goes to go find new recruits and stuff like that.
I don't know how to spell certain words. Apparently,
Well, you got the greatest dictionary in the world right there.
It doesn't know how. It doesn't even know what I'm trying to spell. How do you spell Caribbean? Caribbean.
Carribean.
Caribbean. I don't know. I'm going to leave it out then.
Caribbean.
Ribbean? That doesn't seem right. Caribbean? That's not the right word.
It's 1 R, 2 B's.
1 R, 2 B's. Okay. 1 R, 2 B's. Oh, now you still don't know. Well, that's what it. Oh, it's not capital. Well, screw you, AI person or spell check. All right, let's go there as a starting point, and then we can come up with different additions to the prompt.
That works.
Me. This is like a vacation island with a castle in the middle.
How do you get this boat that far on land, though?
It was high tide.
Just real messed up tide system.
Yeah.
Going on.
I've seen that in Europe and the UK. It's pretty common where you have boats that at low tide are on the land like that, and then high tide comes in. Yeah. This is cool because look at all these shops and housings and like stuff around it that anybody can go into. Yeah. Except then there's the castle in the middle or whatever. That's pretty cool.
I kind of want it to be.
Now it needs to be more techie, right?
Yeah, it needs to be more techie for sure.
Okay. So now we can add stuff like that in.
Yeah, it looks like a place that you would draw in St. Augustine or something. Like, it's a little boring. It's got like a church thing in it too.
Futuristic sci-fi.
I feel like it did well.
Cyber technology.
It did really well with the cross prompts from before.
Yeah, this is still good, but it's not. How do we make it understand? Let's see.
I love that giant flag in the back. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll totally put Monero on that.
Yeah, that's really funny.
The island itself has a big pirate flag or sail.
Stupid. The wind's just gonna hit it. This is the dumbest idea. That's how the island moves, actually. Oh, that's not an awful idea. That's actually not too bad. Like,
it's disconnected at the bottom. It's like a float. It's an island that moves around.
Yeah, island that moves. It's like because it was man-made created islands that became detached from the ground, and then they were able to move them. That'd be pretty funny.
$20 toll to get onto the island itself every time you want to leave and visit people.
Gas fees, essentially what it is.
All right, so I need to tell it. Maybe I get rid of medieval town and say futuristic town.
What was it called?
Boom, shakalaka. What's this? Completely wiped out the aesthetic, but it's another way to roll with it.
But that's sick. That looks like Epcot.
I've never been to Epcot. I live here. I've never been.
You're not missing too much. Did you put in city again?
I put in town.
Okay, town. Try village. See what it, because that, I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty damn nice town.
trying to come up with something that we want to visit in a game.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I feel like it needs more privacy kind of stuff. That I almost like that for Dragon Chain.
True. Okay, secure, private.
Or Dogecoin too. Oh, Doge would have been the fun one to do as
The
well.
fun one, we can still do that. Yeah,
It's a cult.
I'm really happy with our Bitcoin city. I'm not digging Monero yet.
Well, we've only been at it for like 10
Yeah.
seconds. We're still figuring out what we want it to look like.
Yeah, that's very true.
Add more, make it more like darker. Like
That does look self-sustaining, doesn't it? Yeah.
Make it look like a more darker themed, like horror theme or something like that.
Okay. Pirate theme.
Yeah, we got to up the drama. One of the things I love about the show is being able to multitask so easily. Like I made I clipped a video from last week and I'm making a thumbnail during this. It's great. I gotta learn like all the rules of thumbnail making for like optimization now.
Hey, that's interesting. This is like a man-made island. This is like built on stilts.
Yo, this is legit. I like this. Well, there's islands in the back, so this is just more like a port that's put out there.
Yeah.
This is pretty legit.
This is cool because this could be on pontoons. And then the sails could actually move it around like you were saying.
Yeah. I do think it's hilarious the AI is like, we should put sails on the
well, that's the pirate theme one, you know? The pirate theme thing.
And I think that's really cool because it's almost like, to me, it's like it's almost like doing I like it. It's almost like doing brainstorming sessions or doing improv with what I do, because it's like, oh, we're gonna take we're gonna say two weird things and put them together, and then we have to justify why it's there. Like, I don't think anybody else would have gotten this without having an AI fuck it up first.
Yeah, you got to go back and then justify the sales and justify. You got to give some storytelling to be like, no, here's why the sales are there, or here's why, whatever.
Without somebody going, yeah, what if we put like a sales on it, and what if like it was an island but it's not an island, like it just stilts.
You see how like this building looks like a treasure chest a little bit? That's kind of cool.
It's kind of like AI. It's kind of like a graphic designer was on cocaine. It was just, what if we did this? I like it. I think
it needs more neon.
Yeah, I think it could be a little bit newer, and it could be a little bit more techy. Still a little lacking tech, but because like Monero is quite techy, right? Like it's a complicated idea what they're doing. It's not like some shitcoin like Doge or something. Like it's.
Ooh, this one's in a cave looking thing. So privacy wise, this one's in a cave, so it's like hidden.
Ooh, well, I don't think is this a cave or is it just
I don't know.
I think these are just multiple floating cities.
That could be. Let's do the same thing again. We can generate several from the same prompt. And it comes up with something different every time.
That looks pretty good. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, the dome buildings a little bit are cool.
And you really lean into the pirate theme.
There's signs now. There's electricity with signage.
Honestly, dude, I think that's the winner.
Could be.
I like it a lot. I think I love
there's the ports here. There's the docking.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
It still has like a tropical theme. And like it's not I like this a lot, actually.
Yeah. There's some post editing we could do too to like throw symbols on it. We don't have to.
I like that it has this other language. Like nothing's in common. The languages and like the signs and stuff. So it's all like
different cultures.
You can only read it if you hold the coin.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting concept. So hidden messages. This is part of the cryptography thing where I want to be able to send messages or talk to other players like privately.
Yeah. Or
something, or there's certain messages that only certain factions can read, or if you have a certain alignment.
Yeah. Well, if you like hold the coin, that then they assume that you're part of their organization, right? Right. So like you can go in and look at Monero and try to figure out what's going on, but you can't, but it's all hidden behind this encryption, right? It's all hidden, it's all private. So like when you look at it, it's just gibberish. But if you hold the coin, or it's the thing you're supposed to know, then you can actually see it.
Maybe the classes could be based on like if you focus on a certain coin, like you get more and more attributes, and you're able to interact in that city more than the other players in your party, or something.
So like
you specialize in a certain cryptocurrency, basically.
Holding a coin is going to give you different benefits, is what it'll be. So if you hold Monero, you can see like the simple one is going to be like you can see the Monero signs, but then you probably get like a plus to stealth as well.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
And then depending on you'll get, so basically this will be your race in the game, and then that'll give you attributes that I'll probably make it so that you get like one common attribute that's like kind of like a shit one that's like you can read the signs, and then each different class, so class like rogue or gladiator, I think it might be a class something like that, or tech head or whatever we want to call them, will give you a different one, but you only get one, so that way you're not getting like 5 bonuses to things you don't need. Like if you're a rogue and you hold Monero, then you get like a plus to stealth, or if you're like a hacker, you get you get like a thing that lets you like work around passwords or something.
Yeah, or if you're a tank or like a a fighter and you hold Bitcoin, it would make you stronger, but then Bitcoin would be a negative to stealth. It would be, because it's transparent, the blockchain is, whereas Monero's blockchain is completely private. So like you could even have things where if you specialize in Bitcoin, not only is your stealth reduced, but you cannot lie, for example. Right?
I don't,
something like that.
Oh, I think that might be more like a character choice, but
okay.
There's a lot of options. I like the idea, but I don't want to force somebody to never be able to lie because they hold a coin. And also you run into this issue a lot, and I don't think it's super fun, but you run into that issue a lot in actual D&D with paladins. So paladins are like warriors from God. For God, and they are lawful good and can never do anything wrong. So half the fucking campaign is spent trying to convince the paladin that what they're doing is right, even though it's wrong. If that makes sense. And like it's fun at first and then gets annoying.
That's where I would say like a Bitcoiner would be a paladin type, and a Monero person would be more of a rogue type. Dogecoin would be like a jester bard type thing.
Yeah, but I want like a attribute to be given to all of them, right? If that makes sense. So like I don't want it to be like, well, since I'm not a rogue, getting Monero doesn't help me. Like, how does the privacy coin help a tank? How does it, how does it help a fighter? And I'll find like an attribute or a way that it'll work.
So like if a tank has a coin, maybe it affects them differently than if a rogue has the same coin. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. So like based on your class, you'll get a different bonus.
Interesting.
So, like, what I'll do is I'll be like, here's 7 bonuses you can have, one for each class. Pick the one you want. So if you want to like, if you're like, oh, I really want the rogue bonus, but I'm a gladiator, you can do that. But you get like 1 buff. And then maybe like the more coins you hold, you can then, after another tier, maybe I'll let you like pick up a second one. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, having tiered things, kind of like I'm just imagining like the trees, like in video, like WoW or something. You know what I mean? Where you unlock a certain ability on a certain skill tree or something.
Yeah. So like you get like attribute points. So over time, you can get all of the attributes if you get enough points.
This is what Hyperion Frequency is talking about in the chat. Like, the coins themselves being things where it's like, oh, I want this, so I need to get that coin or whatever it is.
Exactly.
I like this about, I like the idea of a delusional righteous character.
I think that's what maximalists are, right? Like,
we're helping. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Number go up, but then it's not. So maybe I'll have to put that in there. I guess a maximalist is going to be a paladin. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I should write that down so I don't forget.
All right, so we have this one. I can play with upscaling later, but
Yeah.
that should just be an image browser now. Let me just make sure that it's in there. Previous page. Yep, those are all in there now. We got all those.
Sweet.
Cool.
I love it.
You want to try one more? You want to do Dogecoin?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I also have another thing I thought.
Or do you want to do a different type of asset, like a specific weapon or armor?
Oh, I'd like to do weapons. That'll be a lot easier, I think, is to like create weapons. You can create a weapon for the pirate people if you want, or like maybe what's it called? Ooh, I could.
The weapons could themselves have features that are unlocked if you hold a certain amount of a certain coin.
Yeah, there could be a lot of stuff like that. I think what would be cool to, if we want to get a little bit more nitpicky, in like the actual creation of the stuff, what does a wallet look like?
It is a piece of software. It is a file.
I know what it is. I know what it is, and I know what it is now. But in this, world,
in the game,
like,
probably a hardware wallet.
You'd have like a digital wallet. So would you have like what's the thing from Fallout that's on your wrist?
Oh, the Pip-Boy. Yeah.
You'd have like a Pip-Boy that you use for your transactions and stuff, right? Because have a way to use the currency. So you'd have a Pip-Boy or something that's on your arm. I think that. Yeah,
commonly it's like any device that is. It's a wearable. Maybe it's just any kind of wearable. So your wallet could be a wristwatch or a Pip-Boy, but your wallet could also be maybe something that is a bio, like something, an implant, something like that.
I think that'd be cool to like design though, if we want to design like that element. Because I'm trying to think of also like a way to link everybody in the campaign together.
It's also like Judge Dredd too, where like you can only use it if it's you. Somebody can't like steal it from you and then use it.
That's a comment. That's just like DNA or fingerprint, like security. That's very common. That'd probably be a cool one for. Actually, that'll probably be the one for Monero for weapon specialist. They make it so the weapon only works for you or something. That'd be really neat. Anyway, I think I'd love. So there's two things I'm thinking about. What does a wallet look like in this world? Right? What is that tech that everybody has that's digital somehow, but also is secure and on you? What does that look like? And then the other thing is I want a way for everybody in the campaign, in the group, to be connected. So it could be like they all have like a headset, or they all have the same Pip-Boy, and that's what gives them their special ability to be able to go between factions instantly. Maybe they found Satoshi's wallet, and Satoshi's wallet also has all of the other coins in it. Because like Satoshi was like, the idea for the wallet is that it has all this Bitcoin, but then it's also holding all these other coins that nobody knows it's actually holding. I don't know. What do you mean by UI?
User interface.
Yeah, but like
as a game person, we have to develop a UI. This is a tabletop game.
Yeah, it's a tabletop game.
The UI is you and I.
there is going to be like a UI element to it, like that theme that'll go through when I'm like, hey, talk to this person. This is what like that looks like. But
if we can play it a little bit and get some attention on it later on, and it's like it's likable enough that people want to crowdfund a companion app, like a phone companion app, that could be useful. I could see that being useful. But otherwise, it's tabletop. It's tabletop RPG. Yeah.
A UI could also be a digital character sheet. So, but I have made custom character sheets before and stuff, and I need to figure out what gaming system I'm going to use, and I need to figure out, like, I think I'm going to end up having to make my own rules system. Like, I'm going to have to balance the game, which I think is just going to be probably like a D20 game, but I got to like make all the stats and do all the stuff. So that'll be a lot of work. I'm trying to decide what I want to do for this whale spotting thing. Should I just get rid of this house? I gotta learn how to like like thumbnail optimization is a real thing. Like based on what your thumbnail looks like, you'll get different recommendations in the algorithms and stuff on YouTube. Ooh,
Yeah, I don't know what a wallet would look like.
I like the halo projection.
That's just a watch. But that could be a wallet. Anything could be a wallet.
None, those numbers make no sense.
Well, I did say a wristwatch.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool if your character sheet was projected, was like a projection. It's kind of interesting. You can like
Okay,
pull
here's
your
the
stats.
thing. So that's a thing that you could wear. That could be all your identity and like your wallet and things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I that's the thing too, is like, how do I make it so that it works for every faction? Because like the one that they use for Bitcoin is going to be different than Monero, which is going to be different than Doge and stuff like that. And then Hype throw out a question about energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still figuring that out. There's because of the weapon system with like guns and stuff, it's different than how it would be in like D&D.
This is where I think we need the crowdsourcing, like, a specific post about that topic where people can hash things out and other people can pitch in and help design it, that kind of thing. And then those ideas can be voted up with energy and the best ones rise to the top is kind of what I was thinking. And then that ends up being, now there could be veto, like, okay, no, we're going to use this because it works best because John's a DM. He knows how this works. And so it's Hyperion frequency, but using Ben a little bit as a crowdsourced design platform.
So that actually like bleeds into a question that I had that I kind of wanted to see what you thought. So for World Blockchain Roundtable for tomorrow, we have the topic of freestyle, which I don't know who suggested that, but I think it was
I don't know what the crown is as far as tech goes.
I'm not sure.
I don't know who suggested it, but so freestyle is literally like whatever topic we want to talk about. Typically, like, keep it more.
Well, my point is that there's only one question, and then when we did like games 2.0 or whatever, right? Mini games 2.0, there was one, right? Which and I think these were like these were all voted on by the community, and like, but also like we're starting to realize that like things that aren't hyper specific, I don't think play well.
Yeah, it doesn't give people a starting point to be like, what questions do you have about this?
We need to add a little bit more focus, and part of it's almost like, like we should just be picking our own topics, because it's like we know what you want to hear, because we've been listening and we've been like following this, and we know what's in the news. We know what the big thing is. Also, we know what we know a lot about and are passionate about. Like if we did another insurance one, and people are like, I don't know anything about insurance. I have nothing to add.
To an extent, we do, because the hosts of the show have the majority of the lot, because you get every time you host, you get lot. And so we all vote on the topics. The topics typically, the way it usually goes is like the topics are sort of crowdsourced, and then everyone votes on what they want. But to be honest, like, unless you're someone who's posing a question every single time, and maybe you've popped in to co-host sometimes or whatever, typically the hosts have, like, if all the hosts want to concentrate their votes on a certain thing, that's what's typically going to win. So I think that is how it works. The votes, now there's 4 or 5, and there's 4 or 5 hosts.
Yeah.
And there's 4 or 5 topics each month. But I think kind of like that's already how it is what I'm trying to say. Like the hosts can propose a topic, and the hosts always vote on the topic, and the hosts also have at least half of the voting weight in the DAO.
Yeah, so we end up voting for things that we want to do or things that we like, but they're not things that the audience really wants, right? Like, I think the freestyle was put out by us, and we were like, oh, people will like this. It'll be easier to do. And it's like, that's not the case. And also, like, right now when you're getting started, like, I think holding more of the creative control is important, so you can like make decisions that you know are going to be good and that work. So my whole point with that was, I don't want to crowdsource like everything for this game, because then you get a lot of people that either don't know what they're talking about or have very different visions of each other, and you get a weird collaboration of like, that's how you get an elephant designed by committee, right? Isn't that the phrase or whatever it is? Like, an elephant was designed by committee. It's got all these weird parts just thrown together that don't make any sense, which is not what you want, and doesn't make it better, because
that definitely makes sense, because there's a lot of I definitely like, there's a lot of interesting thoughts that get put out, but if you're trying to hold a certain vision, you do need people that are specifically qualified and hold that same vision to be the ones collaborating.
Yeah. So like, I would love to do like a collaboration. Like, what does this look like? But like, crowdsourcing from 5 people, 10 people, 30 people, whatever it is, on the mechanics for a game through typing only on Den does not sound like a optimized way to do this.
I guess I was more thinking about descriptions of assets and cities and world building stuff, like
I think even
ideas for stuff.
I think even that, because it's a lot of work to know what's going on in every single one and make sure you're not like crossing over with other factions and ideas. Also, like, I've got a plot and ideas in my head for how the storyline's going to go, and I might need this or that or the other to work for it, which just makes it a little bit easier if it's coming from one spot. So I think like, after we know what things look like, then being like, hey, we need weapons, like throw in weapon suggestions in here, and then we'll decide which ones we take and we don't. But when it comes to how does stamina work, I feel like I need to have a little bit of creative control, because also this is going to be an online game for people to consume and watch, and I don't want overly complicated rules or things that don't work well for a podcast style D&D show.
That makes sense to me. That's smart and makes sense to me. You can always like carve out like, okay, here's what I'm in control of, and here's what, like, this is, here's where it's like, hey, whatever you guys think is the most interesting. And you don't necessarily have to do that, like what random people suggest, but it does give you sort of a grab bag of like, oh, there's maybe not that specific idea, but maybe that idea gives me a different idea that I can use to finish something that I'm working on that I needed.
There'll be like a section like suggestions for the DM. It will be a running thread. Hey, what are things you want me to see or think about or look at, or and like, oh, what's working well, what's not working well. Also, apparently you need to pay out Hyperion frequency. Are you paying people coffee with Den.Lot, man? Gotta get it to them.
So the way that I'm doing coffee with Den.Lot right now is not showing up in your tips payouts section. It just is minted directly into your Den account, into your Den wallet, if that makes sense. So that's not ideal. I would like you to be able to go into your payouts and your tips to be like, oh, here's my coffee with Den payout. It isn't in there. If you look at the number you have right now, the number of lot you have for coffee with Den, and then you look at it again tomorrow, it's going to be different. So you are getting your payouts. It's just not showing up in your tips. Now, something else that Hyperion Frequency just said that we should probably clarify. We're not talking about a digital game.
Yeah.
We're talking about a tabletop analog game that is based on digital currency and blockchain and digital concepts, right? So the theme and the atmosphere is the digital part, but it isn't a digital game. The most I was thinking was like, maybe there's a companion app in the future, but that's not important.
I think he's confused also because we're making a bunch of digital content for a tabletop game, which is not normal. Which is not a normal thing.
Oh, okay.
We're making the content just so you have reference material. Is all it is. So that way, when I go, you walk into a tavern. Here's the picture of the tavern. Because when you look at like
to illustrate what it looks like, yeah. So if you're
D&D books, there's just when you look when you look at like D&D books and stuff, they have like actual pictures of everything. And I like to, whenever I ran campaigns, I'd go through and like print them out and be like, hey, this is what the monster looks like that you're fighting. Isn't this cool and cheaper than buying a bunch of like minis? Yes. We can also get to the point where we have a digital board. So like you can move your character or like a little stylized version of your character around the digital board, but we'll see that when we get to that. But really, I just wanted people to have reference material and stuff to look at.
Yeah, this stuff is because we can't afford to hire a full-time artist to create all of the freaking assets that we need, which is like, this is the debatable part about like, man, artists are going to hate this because you can functionally like create a bunch of assets that work for what you're building and you don't have to pay shit for it. Like this is all open source free software, so
it's great for starting out. It's kind of like we're making our own fan art to start with.
Kind of is. Yeah.
I got to figure it out.
So I like what you said, John, about keeping the control, so that it can be created effectively and stuff that will work. I just really want to use. I want to use Den for something. You know what I mean? So whether that's just for publishing which parts that you have gotten completed or semi-completed with a comment section that says, maybe there's a glaring problem that you didn't know was there that somebody can point out that maybe you disagree with and you don't have to take their input, but just getting more brains on it that are interested, especially if they're interested in playing it. Like, for example, one thing that Hype Freak said a minute ago in chat was, I'm only playing games that don't have guns, basically. I don't like characters with guns. Okay, well, maybe that's something to keep in mind if we specifically want to make sure Hyperion Frequency plays, right? Things like that. Like maybe that just means he won't play this game, or maybe that means we keep that in mind and we make sure that it's palatable to people who are offended by guns. Both of those things. This is just an interesting input that I didn't know about that we could consider. So I want people to feel like they have input at least.
I actually feel the same way. I'm not a fan of like shooter games as much as I am like medieval games and fantasy games. So I'm thinking what I'll probably do is make it more like, it's not just guns where you have a gun. It's like, this is a weapon that has charges that runs off of like certain stuff, because I feel like in the future, in this world that we've all talked about, like in that cyberpunk world, there's going to be weapons like that. Mm-hmm. But I can make it so that there's limitations. So it's not just like you're shooting a Gatling gun. You're not just like, you don't have just like infinite automatic rounds.
Yeah, there could be game there, like in Hyperion's Frequencies, like preferences, there can be guns. That's fine, but you don't need to be forced to use guns as your character type.
Oh, absolutely. There's going to be like weapon specialists, then there'll be like fighters, then there'll be people that just use like mind control, probably.
I agree.
Different kinds of healers and ways that you do that. There's absolutely like a spiritual side of it, where like there is magic and arcana in this world. And how you get it comes from different places and all this other shit that goes around.
I don't know how I can be more clear about this, but no, not like PlayStation Monopoly, like Monopoly, like with a board on a table. I think the confusing part is that we're using the internet remotely and we're using computers, but that's just like having a video conference meeting instead of an in-person meeting, kind of thing.
There's a guy that used to do this kind of stuff.
Like, do you want to pull, like, what's a good reference for, like, I know there's tabletop
There's a
like
whole bunch.
remote tabletop websites where you can. What was that one virtual tabletop thing?
Um, it was like the architecture one that I signed up for it, and then it's you have to pay.
But people play like Dungeons and Dragons online all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So picture it like that. Picture it like one of those YouTube videos where people are video conferencing and the dungeon master is in control of displaying the map that gets pulled up to illustrate what's going on. And instead of being physically in the same room, you can play with anyone in the world in real time, but you're still playing a tabletop game where you're just using video conferencing to be a remote player. And instead of physically like buying a plane ticket to meet in a particular country or city and sitting down at the same table. That's literally all this is. It's a board game. It's a tabletop board game.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of people that do it.
Right. There are games like that, but we are not making that. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry, but I'm not coding a game. We're taking a pencil and we're drawing things on paper and saying, here's the world. And now use your imagination and play along. That's what we're doing.
Hopefully, maybe in the future we'll do.
I don't mean to be condescending. I'm just saying, like, that's literally what we're doing.
Well, we'll do. Maybe in the future we'll do a Kickstarter or something.
A digital game with physical.
It's a physical game with digital assets.
Yeah, it's a physical game. Yeah, reverse those two things. It's a physical game with digital assets.
Yeah.
Instead of burning trees to print out on paper, we're just showing it on screen so we don't have to print something.
Yeah.
Here's what the city looks like. Where do you want to go? Oh, I want to go to that building. Cool. Here's the inside of that building. What do you want to do? Oh, I want to go talk to that character. Cool. Here's the inventory that he has for sale. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of, do you want to make like gear and see how that works?
Yeah. That's
Cool.
what I was trying to think of, was like what the kind of gear a wallet would be.
Yeah, I don't know either, and that's part of what we're have to figure out is what it. So here's one version of that. Could also we can put wallet on the back burner because that's something that'll be used a lot. I just don't know what it looks like.
Can you try something really simple? Just type in digital wallet and see what it says. See, like, I wonder if we could start super simple and then get more and more specific.
I'm sure we can, because then you can say, well, that's just a phone. Yeah.
Do like maybe cyberpunk digital wallet. I mean, the game is going to be made for. Yeah, that's just another tablet.
Yeah.
The game is going to be made just to play with like some World Blockchain Roundtable people. It's for a show. I'm making the game just for a show, and I'm not trying to like sell it or monetize it yet. Maybe if I got to the point, but
Hyperion Frequency brings up a good point. I know I Am for Am had something in Coffee with Den replies as well. So let me just see what those are. There's the robot dude. This is terrifying to me. This was an accident, but holy crap. It's weird.
These faces are, yeah.
I know. Crazy. I don't know. It's like a nightmare dream. All right. With AI, you could essentially fabricate most intricate of worlds. Would be nice if you could take some No Man's Sky samples to build different terrain and domains. Ultimately, who rules the world? The game master, the players, individual that can actually inhabit the world. Of course, that's a joke. No, it's not a joke. That's basically that's it. I mean, the GM controls the world, especially if you're literally writing it. And the AI thing is just like I talked about a minute ago, was like you can generate assets of what the inside of every little building looks like. Like if you go back to Bitcoin City or the Monero City and you look at all the buildings, you could literally like start developing, okay, what if you think ahead, like what if the character decides to go into this building? What would be in there? What would they find? And you could use an AI to generate what you want it to look like in there. And maybe you never use that, but it's a page in your toolkit where if they go in there, you can say, cool, here's where you are. Is that off base or what?
This is extremely over complicated and serious, but that's my personality. I don't think that's a reflection of anything else besides just who I am as a person. And like I don't think it'll be a morning show. It'll probably be like an afternoon Friday show that happens every other week is probably what I'm picturing. No, we're I'm building something dumb for me to waste more time doing. This is hey, if this becomes cool and like thought out, then hell yeah, I'm gonna make it a book.
Yeah, you're thinking too hard. Hyperion frequency. We're not launching a blockchain. We're making a little fun little like tic-tac-toe game.
I think probably what I'll end up doing, since AI is being like, taking everybody's jobs and doing shit like that, I think it'd be really cool if I could I'll take all the assets that we use and then make like a campaign book of like, hey, you want to play this? Like, here's all the rules that we're using to play on the show. If you want to play it at home, here you can go do that. But I'll do that later, and I'll make an AI write the whole thing.
I like the idea of a tyrant type character, special weapon being peasants. Like you use peasants as your weapon.
I throw poor people at stuff.
Yeah,
I like that a lot, actually. I need more ammo, and somebody cuts off cut off somebody's arm and throw it in.
Yeah,
yeah. This would be a separate show. I don't want to play D&D at 9 a.m. on a Monday or a Wednesday or whatever day.
No. It's not for coffee. It's for like just a separate thing. Yeah, I mean, maybe we host it in the gaming layer, or there is a tabletop layer that we could maybe reboot, especially if we get into some of the stuff that we talked about on the last Den.Social meeting, which was, if you weren't there, we're fielding the idea of making it to where we can basically concentrate the voting weight into just the people that are active. So you don't get all of this like stick in the mud domain squatters who aren't around, so that you can actually use the people that are still there can use their tokens. And maybe you only have 1% of the ownership in a layer, but since nobody else is active in that layer, that 1% is literally 100% of the voting weight. So you can actually get it rebooted and get it off the ground again. So it doesn't have to be just a coffee thing. This is just where we're starting. So back to game assets. We don't know what a digital wallet looks like. But so far, the AI just wants us to use a tablet or a phone. I like the idea of using a wristband or a Pip-Boy kind of thing, some kind of device, or even if it's embedded.
Embedded's interesting. I think it takes away the prettiness of it. It makes it a little bit more cerebral when I'd rather have it be more of a physical thing. Especially like in the future, I think that'd be kind of nice. Even if it was just like I think it just needs to have a physical manifestation and not just like purely like a chip in your head. I mean, maybe it could be if it is like a chip in your head, then it needs to have like a physical show. Like it needs to have like a panel on the back of your skull or something.
An interface, some kind of interface.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't know. I don't even know what that is. It's like an iPod kind of thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to think about what the wallet itself is.
Yeah.
What's some more low hanging fruit while we're here for a little bit longer? Let's do one more type of thing before we because this has been a pretty good demo of what type of stuff we could create.
Yeah.
We could also try a different model or something. Like I know, so there's this one here is interesting. I don't think it's going to be useful for what we're doing, but it's like you can say a photograph of Elon Musk volumetric lighting on a bus. And let's see what that comes up with. That is terrible. Okay, let's just do a photograph of Elon Musk. And let's switch this to portrait. There, that's a photograph of Elon Musk. Oh, that used to be, and then it got really weird and scary. So this is one that can eventually create. Oh, that is an ICP. Oh, you know what I should do? Let's get rid of that. I was sending it through a filter that I didn't need to send it through. Dang, it's still doing it. Anyway, Weird. I wonder why it. I did this yesterday and it worked. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, it can't really. It's close. It can't quite get it there. But a hiker on a trail in Iceland, volcano in the background. This is a whole different training model, but it's supposed to have some more photorealistic results like that, right? So this is a different aesthetic altogether. I don't think it's useful for what we're doing, but you can get some decent photorealistic results out of it. So if we wanted to generate a backpack, would this give us a backpack? That's a backpack, and that looks really good. That's detailed, high res, really good backpack, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how it does with stuff like if you put stylization. I haven't played with this one much. Okay, there's something. That's pretty good, right? So this is a different model. I wonder if it knows what a digital wallet would look like. Because it could just be that RPG training set just isn't good for what we're doing.
Maybe.
We might just be burning a bunch of time trying to figure out what a wallet is that we can do later. Yeah, it just wants you to use a phone or a tablet or a device.
Interesting. You want to see what the thumbnail looks like?
What do you mean? The thumbnail?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I landed on.
Nice. Whale spotting.
Yeah, I it's fine. I've decided to spend enough time on it.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, we're all just on a whale watching boat.
I think it's pretty funny. Yeah, I like it. I think so. Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking about though. Is like, even like World Blockchain Roundtable, like how much of the show should we be controlling? And like, I know when I talk to my friends in New York, if I were to ask them, they'd be like, it's your show, you control all of it. And then you crowdsource the stuff you want to crowdsource. You know, you don't want to DAO everything. Because there's a
World Blockchain with constraints though, because it is supposed to be a Q&A where people can throw questions in, and that's what you're there for, a discussion with people who work with it or think about it every day. To answer questions that are that you know, maybe there's not a video for the question you have, that kind of thing. It is supposed to be that.
Yeah. So I think also the fact that we're not getting a whole lot of questions isn't bad necessarily, because like a lot of the show is us just only talking about a couple of questions. So not a big deal. That's pretty funny. That looks like a Dogecoin person, like Colt.
Yeah, this is your Doge character.
You gotta make it the Doge colors though. This is like gold and white.
I don't remember.
Or it's a Shiba Inu, right?
Oh, dude, you can do like
inspired by the color scheme of.
I wonder if you can do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty funny. I wish the hat was actually on him, but
yeah. Well, you could probably generate it again.
I was gonna say run it again and see if it
yeah.
gets better, because the body looks.
There we go. It's a little bit better. It's on his ear.
Orbs. I'll hang out with that.
That's your companion in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and hype, like the plan is to do that actually, is to create like my own layer and do all that stuff. And
Yeah, John's helping us prototype what will become premium layer. By the way, I talked to Joe about that yesterday, and we can get started with that basically tomorrow. And we could even give you a link to use from your website or something
yeah,
that is a payment gateway where people can pay with their debit card to subscribe to your creative effort kind of thing.
I'll take it. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. I do like so I have sketch rehearsal at noon tomorrow. So as soon as like World Blockchain's done, I pretty much got to scoot. But we can set up a meeting to talk whenever you guys want to.
Okay.
Probably a lot more free on Friday. Thursday is actually kind of nuts for me. But what's new? Oh yeah, that dog would be really fun. Honestly, I'll probably end up playing the dog. That'll maybe
He's
that.
wearing a hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, that's perfect. I think I. How do we feel about the purple? I don't know if I'm sold on the purple yet.
I love purple, but
for Doge, that's the one thing I'm thinking about. Like, I don't know what would be better. I love this, and I want this to be like the president or like the CEO or whatever, the ruler. Oh, that's pretty cool too. Like if this was like the ruler of it, yeah, there's just a random wand.
Yeah, it's just shoved in his throat.
Like if this is the ruler, I think that'd be so funny because then they're just praying. It's like kind of when you vote like a horse as mayor, and then you let the horse.
Oh, right, yeah. Or if you leave your estate to a dog or something.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, oh, now we're. I forget what the name of his name is. But if he sees a shot, the Groundhog Day, like if he sees a shadow, then this is the weather. It's like, no, that's not how weather works. But we're gonna do that. This is like the extreme version of this.
Yeah.
Oh, if the dog eats his food this morning, then the peasants get to live. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I think like, yeah, I don't think I need even any more techie. Like I think I'm curious to see what it would look like if you added some tech prowess, like tech stuff to it.
Oh, the Doge?
Yeah. If you made it just a little bit more cybery. Can you be like a Shiba Inu that's leading a cult? I wonder if that, like, adding those parameters, I wonder what happens when you're a little vague with it. Yeah, Elon just, instead of leaving it to his kids, he just leaves it to his dog. Oh,
Shiba Inu cult.
Yo, that's it. I think I've ran into that like 3 or 4 more times. So that's almost that's like perfect. Oh, that's a winner. Oh,
the cult leader.
I love it's got
human hands.
It's so creepy.
Oh, that's great.
You know what? I could have I could have a race that's Shiba Inu people. So I could
hybrid.
really get crazy with it.
A cult.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Of humans.
Oh, that's so creepy.
There's your hybrid dog person again. It's like he's wearing a helmet though, almost.
Are those like cats on the side? Or
it looks like it. They're supposed to be dogs, I think, but
I think they're dogs. They're just not rendered super great. That's pretty great. Oh no, this is like the fun part of using AI.
It's like what's it gonna come up with? Yeah.
You get dumb stuff that you then have to justify and make work, which is fun.
Yeah. This one doesn't have it almost has human hands, but it's like sheep hooves almost.
It's like the first version of Sonic. It just it's like too real. Like Sonic doesn't have teeth like that, dude. Get out of here.
Yes, this is an uncensored AI model. I have not tried anything weird, but it can do it.
All right. Cool.
All right. There's a literal figure on a little podium thing.
I like that too. That's pretty funny. How is this? What is up with this weapon coming out of its knuckles, though?
Yeah, I don't know about it. Just didn't do it right.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So yeah, I think we could use this for everything we need as far as reference material for storytelling.
Yeah,
this one's good. The hands are still broken, but this is pretty good.
It's hard to make like a.
Basically, you need to write it, and then once it's written, we can then shove the written stuff into the AI to say, okay, what does this look like? Represent this that I wrote already.
Yeah, but then you have to like that looks like the name of the wind. Patrick Rothfuss.
See you later, dude. We're about to wrap up too. I was just running through a couple of other ideas so that we can get an idea of what the sort of possibilities are.
That dwarf looks exactly like this guy. Let's see if I can show you really quick. Which I think is just hilarious because this guy's like a big fantasy writer.
Oh yeah.
And it looks just like him. Like what kind of accident was that? It's really funny. Yeah, I've got some stuff I've written. I used to run like a lot of D&D stuff. I haven't run anything. I haven't like written anything that's like cyberpunk world or like tech based, which is because I never really was into it. I was kind of like you. I'm like, I don't want guns. That's cheating. Even like superheroes. I'm like, my favorite superhero was Batman, who isn't a superhero. So I don't know.
This guy?
Oh, I just stopped sharing the screen. But Patrick Rothfuss.
This guy?
Yeah, looks just like him.
That's what the AI thinks he looks like.
Oh, really? That looks just like him. It's really funny.
And it knows, apparently.
Probably. I like it. It works.
Let's generate another one.
It's him a little bit younger, but the beard is right for sure. Yeah, so I'm trying to think if I want like more races or not. If everybody should just be humans, but in the future, so it's like cyberpunk where you can make like those changes, or if I want to give them like actual new races. I don't think I want to do that. That sounds like too much work. And I think the new races could end up like in the future being aliens that come or show like more races could show up as more coins emerge that are like if a new coin pops up or something or some new technology pops up. That could be it.
Here's Hyperion frequency, according to the AI. It's like a movie.
Actually, you know what I really want to do with this? I want to see if I can make a map for me.
Let me go back to the RPG toolkit for that.
I wonder if there's a map setting for that, like a world map.
Here's the RPG toolkit's Hyperion frequency. That's pretty cool. So, what would we call it? A tabletop RPG world map.
Can you put like inspired by blockchain, maybe? I wonder what happened when we start getting a little bit more crypto-y with it.
I don't know what we can do. So here's a map.
That's pretty sick.
It gives you some locations and some stuff.
You know what? That's almost exactly what I drew. You got like the pirates in the islands. You've got the citadel.
I'll send. What I'll do is I'll throw a bunch of denizens' names into different training models and get some interesting photos, and then I will send them to y'all.
Sounds cool. Can you? All right, I'm gonna actually pull that one up again. I want to look at it again.
Yeah.
So if I were to use this, the big one by like the World Blockchain Roundtable logo will probably be Tether or USDC.
This here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to the right of that will be the Bitcoin Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
And then like probably
So there's islands here in the river area.
That'll be Monero.
Yeah, here or here.
It'd probably be both of them.
Yeah.
I'll probably make it like a chain. On the left side of that can be either
Ethereum. This is already Ethereum.
Oh yeah, that should be
shaped.
Ethereum then.
This is a diamond type thing. Yep, that's
That should be
Ethereum
Ethereum.
City. So we've got. What did we say this was?
Tether,
Bitcoin, Monero, Ethereum, and then we have this up here. This can be. Oh,
I was gonna have to be shitcoins.
Oh, what about this forest? Is Dogelandia or something?
Yeah, so the town below Bitcoin and stuff can be
Dogecoin. So Dogecoin and Bitcoin have a long, like, robust history together. Yeah. So that's cool because Doge is a fork of Bitcoin made to be more fun and just whimsical.
Yeah,
it's like a parody of Bitcoin, literally. So that fits.
And then I think the top, the idea is I wanted it to be like shitcoins, which is just like warring tribes.
Yeah, like raiders and just like dispersed factions.
I actually really
clans.
This like almost works. We're missing Dragon Chain, so I need it to be a little bit bigger, but that's about it. I wonder, can you render it again and see what else pops up? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do a quick. I'll even leave that the same and just see what's up. I just want to see what happens when I try to do something else to it real quick. Cool. And then I'll go back and render it again.
Is this this is hosted locally for you, but
this is on. Yeah, you can. I can open it up to where you can access it for sure. I just don't have it that way right now. So there's some more detail on it. Also some purple splotches, but we can deal with that later.
I like splotches.
Yeah, but let's go back and render it a couple of times and see what different maps it comes up with. Yeah. All right. Here's more of a. Yeah. Not as interesting. Still not. This is like Risk.
Yeah, it's a little...
Okay, here's something. There's more cities in that one.
I like the previous one better.
Yeah. What would you describe that as, the differences between this and the Risk one?
I think one is if you want to get rid of because you can do anti-prompts, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Get rid of words.
Well, or wait, not world map, but globe.
Yeah, it's literally a world map. Get rid of words. Maybe
this is an interesting. There's something in the middle to separate.
Really interesting. I've never thought about making a map like that. That is kind of interesting and weird. I like it.
What is this big slide in the middle?
I wonder if you can put it in the style of Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, or in the style of Cyberpunk or something like that, maybe. Try
StarCraft.
That's pretty bad. Instead of Cyberpunk, put Starfinder. One word. That's the Pathfinder's version.
Okay.
Cyber of like the future world game they have. No, that's probably a bad idea.
Get rid of that. Yeah. It's a bunch of the same there. Inspired by blockchain.
Maybe for like Elden Ring. I don't know. Did that? I guess maybe that didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think it did. Yeah, these are.
That's Elden Ring because it's coming from that central tree.
Okay.
Is why it's like that.
I didn't play that one.
It's there's a giant world tree in the middle that you have to burn.
Okay.
Maybe No Man's Sky, like Hype was saying.
just want to see what it thinks No Man's Sky looks like. All right. Not bad. It's a map. I feel like we're getting closer to something. With a bunch of cities, because it's missing that.
Yeah. Can I feed it something as inspiration, maybe too?
Oh yeah, you can.
Okay,
Mhm.
that'll be cool.
Yeah, we can play with that later.
Are you gonna make this as like a on your computer, like so that it runs constantly?
I can. Yeah, except for if I need to play video games, I need to go back to Windows. I'm on Linux.
You could probably do it that like only certain hours of the day it runs. Like,
yeah, put it on a schedule. That's not bad.
It runs this time, and this time UTC.
Yeah, because I can open it up and give you a link to it.
Yeah. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, we could grind out maps until we find one that sticks, to use.
All right.
This was
if I had that 1080 graphics card, how slow would this run?
I don't know if it doesn't have any tensor cores. It doesn't have any. It has to be at least a 2080 to have the. It has to be. I'm
just joking. It's so like the computer I have. This was just it would just shit itself. Oh yeah, I need to do that.
You can use it. You can actually run it on just your CPU. It just might take an hour to generate one. That first one was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If we go back to this and we look at this Bubba here, that's not bad, man.
I think that's pretty good. I'm just missing. I need the world to be a little bit bigger because I'm missing Doge.
Well, we could.
I mean, I'm missing Dragon Chain.
We could also use Photoshop. You know what I mean? We can edit that. Somehow.
Yeah, but I don't have to fuck with it too much. Then that's me. then why not? Then I'll just do it from scratch. Like, if it's little stuff here and there, like changing like the titles and like stuff like that, I can do that. But I don't want to. At a certain point, it almost becomes a lot of work.
Well, there's things like this looks like a bearskin rug, but there's things like the words and stuff. It's when I say like, I don't mean design it in Photoshop, but we can edit things out, like cut out the words. We can replace these with something that's useful for what we're doing because it's a blank spot, to put stuff.
Yeah, but that's not what the world's gonna look like anyway. I also think there's something cool about hand-drawn maps. So I was like literally just gonna actually draw it and then scan it in. So I think those are just neat.
It probably already knows this part because it is an RPG model. This is literally a map of a city. We could burn so much time right here for infinity. All right, so the things we gotta work on are the digital wallet, the map itself, something like that first map. I'll go back. Actually, if I go back and pull it up, I can look at what I wrote. Yeah. So if I just do this, copy that.
We don't have to do any of that. The only one I need is the map. Everything else can be decided later. And also probably what the fuck? That's pretty sick looking. But
that's what you get with this slider here, the CFG scale. You can think of it as a cartoonish or realism scale almost. You can move it, you can slide around, put it all the way max. It'll give me like a Super Mario World probably again.
Interesting.
Stuff like that. Yeah. So there's a bunch of knobs and levers. This is why I want to open it up and just let you, generate stuff on the fly as well.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
That's closer.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't need to design everything, and I don't want to. Like, I want the worlds that already have been started, and then people are like, oh, I'm gonna add things. So that way they have a framework with which to work in. If you think about it, it's like having a prompt for a World Blockchain Roundtable episode, as opposed to just being like, ask us whatever. Which is when people don't really know what to do then, which I get because I'm the same way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a little dark, but it's cool.
The negative prompts seem to be working. Dark and shadows.
Yeah.
I could do this for like 5 more hours, making assets and generating art. These are all islands instead of cities. There's a bunch of places. I like that first one a lot, but like you said, it just needs to be a bit bigger.
Yeah.
What if all right, here's the last thing I want to do, and then we do have to get out of here.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you're right. If you're having fun, we can just hang out and people can just, like, no one's watching at this point, which is fine. Oh, 2 people are watching. Awesome.
It's you and it's you and whoever left the tab open from earlier.
If I push this, let's see, let's push this to image to image. So as a starting image. All right. So here's our starting reference. Now, let's say bigger, more cities. And and then we do a negative prompt here and say dark and shadows, because that worked well. I wonder if that'll work. And then we just do that, and then we take this script as none, good. And then let's pull in, let's recycle the last seed, perfect. Generate, and see what happens.
And the more cool things you design now, the more you can reference. Ooh.
So that's just based on the same map.
I fucking like
different ideas. These are still huge skyscrapers and stuff, which we don't necessarily want.
Can you add some pirates to it?
More, let's say, towns, villages.
Yeah, I liked villages.
Pirates. These are like comically big, like Final Fantasy games, where the world map like shows a big building that you walk into, and then you go into it, and it's a whole town.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Well, that's like, this is what the area looks like. It's not like a literal layout of the city. This is actually pretty good. It just looks a little grainy to me, but I don't know if that's my computer.
I'm not upscaling it. I'm just changing it. It's upscaled a little bit, but I'm not like.
I wonder.
So I could do that, and then I could do bring this down and see what that does. Tends to no.
Yeah.
Denoising needs to be like, what's up, bro? Let's pull this back up. Sometimes denoising breaks it.
Ooh, this looks like One Piece or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool, but they're like all on
Yeah.
separate islands. So I don't. It's a
So
little different.
pull that back out. And let's actually use this and see what it does. Let's use tile overlap. And then that's made for landscapes, which could work. All right, let's try it. This one takes a little bit longer. The other thing is I don't know specifically. Oh, Hyro, what's up, dude? That's actually points. I think that's the first time you chimed in chat, so that's points. What's up, dude? We're just making stuff here, but you know that. All right, so I didn't do the tile overlap broke, so I need to have a bigger tile overlap. Bring that back up to 32. Do it again. This is going to work. I love the pirate in the corner. Oh, you want pirates? Here's a pirate. Maybe I can tell it to take the words out too.
I think there is something cool about having everything generated by AI. I wonder if we could have the AI create the game rules.
The tile overlap's not working out for me. Oh, I don't know. ChatGPT 4 could. That's a whole different thing, but yeah. What can I do?
I need to learn more about that kind of shit, I guess, but oh yeah, I'm about to fucking post some shit more blockchain.
Oh yeah? You can post some shit?
The clip from last week.
Oh,
whale
word.
spotting.
That changed it too much, I think. Maybe not. Oh, it changed it back. What's it doing? Oh, the denoising is breaking it again. This is where it breaks, I think. This happened to me with the dinosaurs. Oh, maybe not.
Ooh.
That's very Super Mario World.
I think it's a little too
Or
towny.
something. Yeah.
I hate how I'm trying to like zoom in and it doesn't.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, if we can maybe get rid of the word, because I think it needs to be more like, because towny then makes everything a town, right? Can you do like a mix of towns, pirate places, like cities and stuff like that? And hopefully it just knows which ones to make what.
I'm going to get rid of
Or
bigger.
put pirate island chain, because it should be an island chain. I put way too much fucking thought into this.
No way. We're just going to nerd out on it and just put as much thought as we want in it.
I've got fucking sketches to write, but this is more fun.
There is one that's it takes a little bit longer, but I could try a different method as well.
Yeah.
This is washed out again. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Not entirely sure what I'm doing.
What about running this not in a different model or whatever it was? I wonder if
Oh yeah, different training model. That could be a thing. Yeah. All right, let me run this, and then the next thing we'll do is we'll check different models on the same prompt. So this one's going to take 4 times as long. So let me sit here for a second. Just want to see what it does. You watch it here and make sure it's not breaking. Nope. It's working. Working. It's doing 2.5 iterations per second. Hopefully I didn't make it too long, too big. All right, upscaling. It's tiling it. and upscaling it. Total progress. Okay, it's getting there. Good. That's not any better. Okay, I'm not going to use that one. So let's try a different model. Let's try.
Ooh, that one's kind of good. It's kind of interesting. No, I don't like it. There's no cities; it's just mountains.
All right, let's try the vanilla one. This is the one that is the default training model. There's not a single city.
No, I don't want that. Oh, thank you.
But I can emphasize things. So with the one I have, if you put it in parentheses, the more parentheses you have, the more emphasis it has on that part. All right, it's not what we want. Let's instead use this Protogen one that I've barely ever used. I've barely ever used any of these since yesterday. Oh, this is literally looking like it's on the table with somebody next to it with little game pieces. That's interesting. This is making game pieces, actual literal game pieces, like if we wanted to package a board game.
Yeah, that's like Monopoly, I guess.
Yeah. But I did tell it a tabletop world map.
Do.
Between this and what is and the digital wallet one, we're like, this is the one that I think those are the two components that are you're always on the world map and you're always usually using your digital wallet. So I think those are the things that are like, I don't know, that we're spending a lot of time on because there's such a specific idea of what we want it to look like.
Yeah, I've already got something in my head for this. And then I think for the wallet is we have nothing in our head, so we're kind of just throwing darts.
Yeah. Yeah, Protogen works okay for this, but let's go to Ryan Blend. Different model.
By the way, you should go on Den and give me a whole bunch of fucking points in World Blockchain Roundtable. I just posted something.
All right. Ryan Blend has a decent map.
All right, I'll give you a bunch of points for your small rant.
My little humor rant.
Yeah.
I know people that like, I don't know, they just take it too personally when people make political jokes about their political preferences. It's just like, dude, it's funny, you know?
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It was just last night's Colbert and Seth Meyers episodes.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the writer's strike. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. And then let's try, I can't believe it's not photography.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's not made for making maps.
That's interesting.
No. I can believe that it's not photography. Yeah. I want to get something close to that first map.
Yeah.
These are all islands.
Do you have Island Chain in there or no?
No.
Okay.
This one's usable.
That's pretty decent. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell it, you know?
Can we get like just really specific about everything?
Sure.
Like, there's a citadel on a cliff overlooking the water. There's a chain of pirate islands separating two large continents. There's a string of there's tribal factions fighting to the north.
75 characters.
Okay, so we can't.
It's somehow, oh, maybe that's words, not characters, because it says I got 26 out of 75.
Okay, and then maybe
I should start it with a tabletop RPG map with, okay,
and then what are some other things we might want?
let's see what that gives us so far, just to see if we're on the right track or not. That's a globe.
You add like globe
islands.
Can you add like more things to the don't do this list?
Yeah, globe. This whole thing is a cliff island.
That's pretty cool, actually. That actually almost could work. Because I can make it so that
there's a distinct path to travel through here to get to from one place to the other.
Because it's a chain. You start at one end, you got to make it to Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's do a couple of these.
That's pretty good.
This one's blank. Also,
actually, I kind of like that.
Yeah. I want to bring this up to more modernish too.
Ooh. All right, let's see if we can make this work, just out of curiosity. That's Ethereum?
This one here, yeah, because you've got the yep. And also it looks like Ethereum, like crystal-y stuff.
Yeah. And then we have Bitcoin at the top, because I want to put those too far this way from each
other. Yeah. Well, maybe. Or yeah, maybe. This looks more Bitcoiny to me, honestly.
I agree. Maybe Ethereum is the fucking island.
This Bubba?
Yeah, because that's like literally crystals.
Yeah, but it's not a city. But that doesn't matter.
It could be built into the city, like
it's like the pirate sails.
like they're like a crystal city. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I used to live in Crystal City in Virginia.
Okay, not that kind. More like Wizard of Oz. Not. Yeah,
these are good. Let's do a couple of these. These are good.
Yeah, I wish there was more of like a pirate chain of islands, like islands in the water.
This is the Great Wall.
I don't like this at all. No.
Bad Hair Club.
Yeah, the last writer's strike was really bad. It was 100 days.
Yeah, it took a long time.
And like, AI is part of their bargaining stuff right now with Writers Guild.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like writing is like it's getting there, but like it's not doing humor still very well.
It is.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's I did a show. I was actually having this conversation a couple days ago with two things with my parents. One is they said the art wasn't very good, and then I showed. Go back to the previous one. I actually really like that.
This?
Yeah, they were like writing sketches. I was doing I did an improv set where we got the prompt. It was like, hey, do a scene in the style of this, like this. So it was like, do a scene in the style of Seinfeld about ice cream. And then we had to do the scene. And I'm definitely like a much more experienced improviser than some of the people I was playing with. because it was kind of nuts what they were doing. And then that was one team, and then there was another team, and you could steal the points if you did the script that the AI did. So they would compete against us, and those fucking scripts were pretty funny, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty good. Another friend of mine is making an app where you can improvise with an AI. So
weird.
You type in what you want, and then it responds to you, and they're pretty funny and
then you can have two of them together, probably tie them together, and just have like an AI improv.
No, that's breaking everything.
I know it is going to break everything. It's all the shit that we've been warned about, for decades.
Yeah.
Because if one of them, if it's interacting with a human successfully with improv, it can interact with another bot instance running.
Exactly. All right. So here's my pitch for it. The top is Tether.
Okay.
Up here on the cliff, all of that is Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All of that is Bitcoin. And
yeah, because they're really big into like I would say like, what am I trying to say? This could be farmland.
I was going to say the bottom part of it could be the Doge.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom part
okay.
of the cliff could be Doge, maybe. And then down on the left can be, what are the other ones I got?
Well, there's Monero. There's so Bitcoin, Ethereum. Where's Ethereum though? I don't know what these blue splotches are here.
I don't. So that's what I was thinking. Is like I like this, and then maybe if we could play with this one a little bit, because the Monero can be all the islands that are floating.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So Monero will be the floating.
So let's take this and push it to. Where's the button? Here. All right. So let me take out. So that's gone. That's good.
Because I need Dragon, and that's the other thing too. Is like, do I want Dragon Chain to be a faction, or should I just make like the name of the campaign like Dragon Chain or something? Or like
the thing with Dragon Chain is it is specifically it allows you to take all these other blockchains and use just the components of them that you want to use. So Dragon Chain is like basically an interoperability layer where you can use this stuff from Bitcoin, you can use that stuff from Ethereum. That's what Den does, right? So like we use Ethereum for the ERC20 standard and the NFTs, and then we use Bitcoin for security. We put everything into a Bitcoin block for security because they have proof of work, hashing, stuff like that. We even use Binance Chain.
I think what I'm going to do then is like the 5 of them will be Dragon Chain. Like the party is going to be Dragon Chain. So I can get rid of a fucking city now, thank God.
That makes sense.
Because I had so much. Because the smaller it is, the quicker we can go through the campaign. This should not be a thing that lasts for like 10 years. This should be a thing that lasts for a year at most. Maybe 6 months.
So what would you say if you're starting with this as a base image? What would you say you wanted to change about it?
I think the other continent needs to be more like technologically advanced than it is, right?
It would be wild if you couldn't tell the difference if AI was writing this stuff for like back to the writer strike conversation with
that's a whole thing in it, man. That's a whole thing in it. And like it's not as good, but it's good enough to start with. There's even like things that are like, how much of the work are you allowed to give the AI to do? Like, can you have the AI write it and then you just make changes?
Yeah. I mean, that would be a reduction in, workforce, capitalistic wise, it would be its bottom line numbers, kind of thing. That's interesting. All I did with this one is I told it basically to modernize it. Because if we're going to use it for a campaign about Bitcoin stuff, it needs to resemble some sort of. There needs to be technology. Ooh. I like the idea. I'll tell John this when he gets back, but I like the idea of Ethereum as like a floating city. I hadn't thought of that, in the ether. They used to think that ether was like, what was it? Like radio waves and stuff. If you read like early, like radio communication stuff, they used to talk about ether and radio waves traveling through the ether. Yeah, this is Bad Hair Club is asking all the right questions. It's a tool, but so is like a smartphone. John, Bad Hair Club, John, there's a question about like, you think it'll make people lazy or will it improve production? And I was thinking, it's a tool, but so is a smartphone. And I get annoyed by the way that smartphones have made people lazy, disincentivized people to learn how to use computers, basically. And so like people are less capable without that tool. And so they rely on it. And so
I don't know if people, I understand what you mean by like, it makes people not want to use, like disincentivizes people to learn computers, but also it makes them really good at smartphones.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So like they're just better at tablets. Like people can navigate tablets better than I can.
Yeah, me too. I am a little bit of like I'm an idiot when it comes to Apple products. But the thing is, in my opinion, an Apple product is not a computer. It is a utility, or a not a utility, what is the word I'm thinking of? An appliance, right? So a MacBook Pro, in my opinion, yes, it's a computer. Yes, you can do computer stuff on it if you really dig into it and you do things outside of the realm of what Apple has prepackaged for you. But with phones and tablets, what I don't like is that there are so many people that can't use the internet or in something that's on the internet unless there's a prepackaged touchscreen. I can mash it with my thumbs to interact with it way to do it. And that's what bothers me is people aren't using the internet anymore. They're using like 12 monolithic websites that have prepackaged apps to communicate, and that's not the internet. These are apps that use the internet, which is different to me. And this is what one of the things I fear with AI is like, I'm saying the word like a lot, but basically, yeah, it's the idea that on one hand, you can get a lot done. Like an individual can get so much done if there is a free intern at your disposal, which is what I see this as right now. It's a free intern, with whatever skills you want it to have. Right now, it's an intern artist, and you can tell it, no, not this, that, no, not that, this. For example, I just told it to take the same map and make it futuristic. And I hadn't even thought of Ethereum being like a floating city. You see this in the top right? You could have Ethereum as like a floating city.
Could totally be Ethereum,
kind of thing,
I think like actually, can you move the question so I can see?
Oh, sure. Sorry. Yeah.
I think it's going to make it.
We lost the Pirate Islands, unfortunately, so that's not.
Yeah, those are a little too techy.
But you can see, I just told it to modernize it and make it science fiction, and it took this and made it futuristic, which is that's like saying to an intern, take this idea, but make it futuristic, and then coming back with some idea of what they think that is.
Yeah, I think it's going to make us. I think at first it's going to be a big time sink because we're still learning how to use the product. So like the amount of time it's taken us to go, we've kind of sat on the island thing for like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I could have drawn this in 45 minutes.
Fair.
I could have drawn this on a piece of paper in an hour or less. But the whole point is that we're trying to learn how to use this product. So we're just fucking around with it for a long time.
And once we do, you're right. I don't know what prompts work, what knobs and gears and levers do what. But once we do learn that, and this is where like most people have been saying it's going to go, is learning proper AI prompting skills to get the result that you want.
Yeah.
You somebody who's skilled at that could churn out so much work.
Yeah, I'm gonna like. There's like AI boot camps and stuff, and I kind of want to take one.
There's
So
decent guides too.
If you find one that you like, let me know. I'll take an AI boot camp with you.
There's this website, stablediffusionart.com, that has a beginner's guide. It talks about the different models that you can download. This one was made for porno, but it does really good at making clothing as well. It talks about all these different ways, that you can run it. This one's good for making automobiles and machines and stuff. So you can go to links to the model page. So there's a lot of resources on the internet right now where you can say, okay, I want to do this. How do I do that? You know what I mean? Robo Diffusion, I might want to do this for what we're doing to make some assets. So there's free websites out there.
We'll go up to one more model.
Robo?
Down.
Waifu?
No, Modi
Diffusion. Yeah.
This might be a good place to start.
This is a good animation style, yeah.
I think it's just easily accessible, but also it's very Disney, but it's also like easily accessible. But then also it's not so hyper realistic that like we're gonna get bogged down on details that are wrong. If you're just wearing brown pants and a blue shirt, it's easy to keep those details simple. As opposed to this shirt's the wrong color, so therefore the faction doesn't work, and it's got this weird logo on it, and the AI for some reason wanted to put words on everything.
The order does change the image displayed, and there's a couple of settings too where you can say the first words are more general and the last words are more specific. You can do that. But yeah, there's so many, but that's where I think there's going to be 101 like college credit courses for AI prompts, just writing AI prompts, how to use these tools, in the same way that there's an Adobe Photoshop class or something.
If it isn't there already, I'm sure they're already putting it together.
MIT had blockchain classes really early, so that's definitely going to happen. But yeah, whenever you find something like a crash course that you want to take,
Ink Punk is awesome too.
Let me know what you find.
I think this might be the style, man, because the Ink Punk, the ink stuff is just so stylized in a fun way that I think like having that run through as the theme that runs through the book would be really cool.
Come on. Depending on the size of that one, how big is it? What do I download? Files. This is kind of what we were talking about just now. There's different types of models. I don't know how to use this one. It doesn't come in there's two packages I know how to use. One of them's a checkpoint, and one of them's called Safe Tensor. This one doesn't have that. Oh, right here, checkpoint. Yeah, it does. Let's use it real quick. All right, where did I put this? Stable Diffusion, models. This is going to be in.
Oh yeah, where's Gravity Crab today?
I don't know.
How did I forget about that?
Wait, is this where I wanted to go?
I meant to pick up that graphics card while I was in town, and I didn't hear from him at all either. And then I meant to go.
I haven't heard from him for a couple of days. I should check up on him.
I meant to go Tuesday morning to the shop, and then I was just so hungover that I couldn't. Yeah, Ink Punk would be cool.
There's no way it just downloaded that. That's something broke. Let's try that again. Download. It says it did, but I don't believe it. Replace.
How fast is your computer?
Okay, no, that's it. 100 megabytes per second. Big B megabytes. I have a gigabit connection, so maybe that is working. All right, wait for that to get done.
The new episode, the new clip is up now. These are getting a couple of. Oh, they're not getting.
What was it called? Ink Punk. All right, I got a whole different model in here. I'm just going to hit generate. It's going to screw everything up. But I just moved models in the middle of a pipeline. So we'll see what happens. Okay, nothing crazy. But it didn't work really well. But let's do, what do you want to do with this?
I think the ink punk is going to be more for like the weapons and the people and characters and stuff. I think the map should probably still. I think like the chapter. This is probably what I'll do. Is like the chapter for like pirates might be in ink punk or something. You know. Yeah, that was a good suggestion. I like that. So maybe like future pirates. I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know.
Should we stay? Should we say in the style of ink punk? Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know how to use this model. This is just shooting from the hip.
These are kind of cool.
This is like a child smashing buttons on one of those like toy computers that they get. I'm going to take out the neon.
Yeah. Because like the colors that we were getting previously were all stale, or steel. So that's why we had to add it. Okay, a little more realistic. Get rid of some of the cartooniness if that's an option.
Like that?
Yo.
That's dope. That's cool. I like that.
That's friggin' Monero right there.
He's got the fucking Oakleys on.
Yeah, dude. He's got a hat with a sword in it. All like he's got the legs his legs are replaced from the knees down.
Nice. Let's do a couple of him. Let's do the same prompt a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay, his head's cut off. All right. It's got some biomechanical going on a little bit.
I like it. Can we add
This is pretty Monero-y. It's got red glasses.
I think I might even like this more. It's a little bit more realistic.
That's not bad, bro.
Can we throw
See how quick it is to download a model and just be like, okay, let's try this.
It's gonna keep giving you dudes. Is there a way to like change up like kids and gender and we can mix
female
up.
pirate?
There you go. We know that all pirates are male and all female. And
right.
So you have to say female pirate.
It's cutting their heads off. I wonder why.
Yeah. Do you have it like portrait or something like that? Maybe.
Yeah, I do. Oh, really? That's what you want? I say female, and it's like, well, nobody cares about the face. Who trained this AI? I can do square instead of portrait.
Well, I think portrait's good for people, though. So
yeah.
We might actually want to keep it. We might just
need to pull the CFG scale down. I don't know. I don't know how to fix that right now. It's totally chopping off the heads. And plus, it's too sexualized.
Put full body in the. All right, chopping off the top of the head.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. There we go.
Everybody knows foreheads are the hardest things to draw.
Look at that face.
What the? Okay, I get it now.
All right, there's a restore faces button too, so let's do that. It's chopping it off. It really doesn't like focusing on the person's face. That's weird. Huh.
Did you put full face or full body?
Both.
Full body, full face. Head to toe.
Pull this out. Wearing about a futuristic female pirate? Simply. Okay. That did a little bit better. Let's also pull this out and run it again without the prompt matrix. Nope, going back to that again. I hate it. That's something I don't like about not knowing who's trained the model. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it wants to focus on boobs, you know, or that kind of thing. Full portrait.
Just really want to show the fact that they made him female by
Yeah.
focusing on certain things.
She's cool though.
Yeah, I don't know if I use that for the pirates though, but that's pretty cool. Maybe, yeah, I don't think you need heavy armor for pirates, especially. Pirates aren't really.
Maybe we're overthinking this. Does it know what Monero is?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say before too. Is like, what if it like knows blockchain and Bitcoin and shit like that? Like, I'd take it.
Actually, yeah.
Let's
It's got the right colors. It knows
let's
the
add
colors
more,
apparently.
Let's add some more cyber to it.
Okay, we're starting to get into like there's some, what is that artifacting ink something ink punk?
Yeah,
we need more of that.
That looks pretty sick. I like that. I feel like D's just as pissed off as can be now.
This is closer to the style we saw on the demo page.
Yeah, that's definitely a more style, but I want more like, you guys see what more of the body looks like. He looks like he could fit in anywhere.
Gnarly.
Yeah, all right, that's definitely piratey too.
This is reminds me. Did you ever play Borderlands?
Yeah,
that cell shading technique
definitely
that
looks
they
like
use?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's very synthetic.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the guy who owns the armory or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, body mods, very cyberpunk, that kind of thing.
I think maybe get rid of some of the shit.
Yeah, what do we get rid of?
Let's get rid of some of the cyberpunkiness of it. Maybe I don't know. Like how much of like the
I'll say a modern pirate instead of a cyberpunk pirate. I'll just call it a modern pirate.
Yeah. How much of like the body mods and stuff do you think you'd want in it? Because like the body mods and stuff usually implies guns, and what I can do is the guns I guess could be run off of your HP and off of your body in that way. So that way it's a little bit more pointed.
I'm gonna remove video game.
Bullets.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Ink Punk I like. I wonder if that's doing anything though by having that in there.
I think it adds the splotches, maybe.
Yeah. I'll swap that out for Borderlands.
I think Borderlands gives you the body. It was giving you the synthetic look.
Maybe so, yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that.
That's cool. Yeah. That's like a normal looking pirate character.
Yeah, that's that's the bartender. That's the that's the person who owns the shop.
I like that all of these though. So apparently I think it does know a little bit about Monero because all these colors match
Yeah.
with that theme.
So I wonder if we do the when we make the map, we can put in there's 5 cities and one is Monero, blockchain, or
Oh, dude,
Bitcoin, all that kind of
let's
shit.
do that with the Inkpunk engine.
Yeah. I gotta
Shit,
go
yeah.
walk my dog soon.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here. This is
I'll be
going on
back in
hour
15
3
minutes.
hours.
I'll fuck around with it more.
You want to do you just want to meet back up? You want to close out, and then we can generate some stuff, and then maybe we take what we like the most and throw it up as
Sure.
a post with the rewards from the show and stuff, or do you want to keep doing it here on StreamYard?
I'm fine to do it either way.
Okay.
If you want to share, like if you have the link, if you can send me a link to
I don't right now. I have to.
Yeah, I like
close it and relaunch it in a different way, basically.
I mean, like what we could do, if we could do that, if you want to close it, relaunch it in a different way, but then I don't think both of us would be able to do it at the same time. Just one at a time, probably.
Because I got one graphics card doing all of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, world map for a tabletop RPG game with a pirate island chain. Many cities. Lots of large map. All right. Well, maybe this is not meant for this as well. Yeah, it's just like scribbles.
You also have it in portrait. This should probably
be
true.
Let's swap that out. Now it's landscape. This is a lot more area that it's doing, though.
Yeah, that is kind of nice what they're doing there.
This is just Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make this do what we want.
Yeah, it's fine. Are you like leaving the house today for stuff?
Not necessarily. I'm still kind of under the weather, so I'm not doing a whole lot.
Okay, well, if you want to fuck around with it today, and then I guess pick a day, like let me know a time, like when you're not going to be using your computer, and if you want to launch it for me, then I can mess with it. Bitcoin is a superhero trying to copy Satoshi's.
Yeah, I am.
I should call him Sean. Why am I calling him Satoshi?
That's the first part of his handle.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he did it with a different AI engine, and his results were really good, actually. Yeah, this doesn't know what the hell. It knows Bitcoin, though.
Can you do try like getting a little bit specific with the map, maybe like a world map with cities inspired by Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, and Doge or something. The Monero.
I don't think this is the correct engine to do that with. I think that's going to be more like the literal RPG artist tools.
Try that one real quick.
Yeah, this Earth again.
You're doing a world. Get rid of the world map part. That's what's messing up.
Oh.
It should probably be a tabletop RPG.
A campaign map?
Sure. Maybe tabletop RPG.
A game map?
Fantasy map.
a fantasy game map.
In the style of Dungeons and Dragons or something. That's pretty cool, but not really what we're looking for.
Yeah. In the style of so the thing is, you can't do special characters and you can't do ands very much. I'll try it anyway.
Could you put that in quotes, like Dungeons and Dragons in quotes?
Ooh, what's this? It's very fuzzy. With cities. So commas are important. Also, the order, like what Bad Hair Club was saying, the order matters. I could sit here and craft this for a little while, probably. But these are more along the line. Super fuzzy and weird, but starting to give stuff. Fantasy map.
Ooh.
I wonder why it's doing the fuzz. High detailed. And then down here, I'll say blurry, fuzzy, low resolution, vague. Yeah, something's going on with the way it's rendering these to make it look all blotchy.
Is there a settings part? Make it more cartoony.
Yeah. Let's pull this up. Good point. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up a lot.
Let's see what happens. No. Looks like Fantasia.
But it's not.
No, that looks cool though.
It's not. It's actually really clear, cool. Which is helpful.
Yeah, maybe go a little bit farther down on that. Yeah.
Oh,
honestly, dude. Hold on. All right, so if we did this, the top right's Bitcoin, bottom left is Monero, top left is Ethereum.
Oh, look at this. This is literally the Ethereum symbol here. It could be like Superman's
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude, yeah.
Yeah, this actually would be really cool if this is what I wanted.
Yeah, if this is what I wanted, it would be perfect.
It's not.
But we've got it. It's saved. It's giving us an island instead of a long thing.
Do like two continents. It kind of like helped with that with an island chain.
Yeah. With two continents.
Still pretty cool. Can you do a large fantasy map? I think that worked pretty well last time too.
So it gave me islands.
I think adding large helped a lot. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot here for a game. Yeah.
Can you just generate another one?
Oh, yeah, I can. But I was thinking the one big castle in the middle. I was thinking of throwing in the negative prompts, things like
words,
round, circle.
Get rid of words. I don't
words.
I don't have any words.
Yeah, just literally what I said not to do. But okay. There we go. It's a little bit less roundy. More cities. Large fantasy map with islands in the style of Dungeons and Dragons with 7 cities. What if I threw a number in there? That gives you more to work with.
I like that.
inspired by, I'll just say, cryptocurrency culture. All right, we got cities, we got ships, we got Monero, Landia. Could be better resolutions. This is where we could take this as the layout and then do image to image.
Yeah.
So from here, and I could take and wipe this out and say highly detailed.
I think when you add highly detailed, that's what also might make it fuzzy in some of it.
Maybe.
Maybe more futuristic also. Yeah, okay, you got modern in there.
That could be making it. I don't know why it's fuzzy. Stop being fuzzy. Stop being blurry.
Get rid of detailed. I think that's what's messing with it, man. Because it's like I want lots of detail, and then it's like, well, here's lots of detail, but it's so detailed that it becomes pixelated.
Maybe so, yeah.
And I think that's where like AI messes up it with is in like the really tiny minute details.
Interpreting what you mean by that.
Yeah, that's why there's a hammer coming out of his fist. Like
pull this down. Let's pull this down and see. We need a damn map.
I mean, we've got a few that could work.
Yeah.
But
that's what it gave me? That's what it thinks is good? This is not... Okay. Here's what we do. I'm going to have to get rid of that. And I'm going to have to take this. And I'm going to use this. This should work. I hope. It's a little bit better. At least it's not infinity blurry.
Yeah. You're missing the N. Oh no, never mind. How much of it can you change? Can you change like add more cities, make it more modern?
With this one, we can do one at a time, and then we can take that and loop. There's a loop back where you can get what you want and then say, okay, push that in, and then do what you want to change it again. I just want to get something that's not potato quality, you know?
Yeah, I gotcha. I think if you find the layout first, and then you can probably make more changes to it.
There's something I'm not understanding about how to do this. That's not bad, though.
Yeah, I know. I don't hate it. I think the other one was better.
The original?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. I don't know.
How about I take this out? Because it's not doing the cryptocurrency thing anyway. So why do I want it to care about that?
All right.
Yeah, it's got 4 cities ish. In the style of... What different style can I plug into that?
Pathfinder.
Because we can make something and then modernize it later, like we showed a minute ago.
Yeah. That's not...
because that one I was doing, it basically replaced the cities with new modern buildings whenever I gave it that.
Yeah.
That's workable ish.
Yeah, there's just no cities, so you gotta add cities.
Well, yeah, these are cities. It's just that we have to change what the cities are now.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't remember how I did that last time.
Modern cities.
I gotta remember what I was using. Here's one that's an anime filter. Nope.
Yeah, it looks like a One Piece map. It's not bad, but all right. It's noon. I think I might go walk my dog, and then I mean, I'll be around if you want to. If you're like gonna mess with stuff, I'm happy to be here. I'll probably just be working on other stuff, and then be like, "Hey, John, what does this one look like? How does this one look?" And be like, "Looks great." Type. Do thing.
Yeah,
Hey, John,
let's do
how's
that.
this look?
I'll try to crunch out a bunch of stuff, focusing right now on the game map. I'll come up with a bunch of maps that I think look pretty decent, and see if it fits into your idea of what we could use for a tabletop game to actually play on, based on the things you already have written.
Yeah, and so like the cities we have are Tether, Doge, Monero, Ethereum.
Oh yeah, Dogecoin. I forgot. Yeah, that's the fun one.
And Bitcoin. So there's that 5: Tether, Doge, Monero, Ethereum, and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Chain is going to be the group.
The party, yeah. Because
is there any other
they can use, because they can use any of them, and I think that can be part of the mechanics too. Where remember we talked before about maybe in the individual cities you can only use the currency that relates to that city, but our party, since it's Dragon Chain and we have the interoperability thing going for us, we can use anybody's currency or something. I don't know if that's too.
I've got it. I
don't know.
So like I love making this with you, but I also don't want to give you like. Should I tell you stuff, or would you rather it be a surprise? If you'd rather be surprised, that's cool. I also don't mind telling you stuff if you like.
Yeah,
it's fun working it out too.
I don't know, I don't know, because as somebody who's going to play, it's nice to not know what I'm going to run into, like what I'm going to have as a challenge.
I'll still give you surprises. You know what I mean? So I guess like to the foundation of it, it's I guess isn't that big of a deal, but like the plot line will be different. So for me, I think you're just able to hold all the different coins. So it's not like you can use Ethereum to pay for Bitcoin or something, but you're able to use all the hold all the coins. So like everybody in like Bitcoin is only able to actually hold Bitcoin or something like that.
Okay.
And then there will be like an open sea trading area for people that want to like do piracy shit and
okay.
If people want to be able to move money, even though like you're not supposed to. Very nationalistic ideas is kind of what I'm thinking. And then the Dragon Chain people are people that have a basically they're born with a wallet that allows them to use all currencies, so that you're able to hold all the different kinds of currencies, where most people are only able to hold one kind of currency.
Yeah, I can see that,
and that's why you're special.
So you're in a certain tribe, so you can that's your tribe's currency, and that's all you can use.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be somebody in Ethereum city that accepts Bitcoin, but if you're a Bitcoiner, you just like that's who you have to seek out when you're in that city.
Well, like somebody in Ethereum, everything in Ethereum would be run by. It's like if I took my dollar and went to the UK and was like, no, this is dollar, this is US currency, this is better than what you have, you take it. And they're like, no, we don't take that.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
We don't accept MasterCard here. It's only Visa.
Exactly. So everyone will have a different thing. And then because everybody's trying to make theirs the best, right? So everybody's trying to like help their city the most, so that way the value of their currency will go up. But you guys are able to have a certain special wallet, maybe it's a gear, whatever it is, that, or you weren't, or it's like this idea that you weren't born into the city, so therefore you don't have, like you weren't given the chip at birth that only lets you use Bitcoin. You know,
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Like, what did we talk about? The city of Zion, the natural born people in the Matrix kind of thing.
kind of like that. I think it's more like I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. I think it's like Catcher in the Rye or whatever, where like you're born with a certain job and a certain thing and a certain stuff, and the people that are born like different have like can do anything and have this other power. So basically, like you weren't born into a like Bitcoin or Ethereum or something. You were born without that,
without
hindrance.
pre-existing limitations or
so basically the idea
allegiances or something.
you're all, I think it's more like all of you are Neo. You're able to exist in both the Matrix and in the real world.
Gotcha.
If that makes more sense.
Yeah, kind of.
And you're basically, the idea is that you're the outside of the box thinkers that isn't into like a maximalist mentality of I need to make my number go up. Instead, you're like, how can we all work together?
Mm-hmm.
So hence why you take powers and special abilities or whatever from different factions.
Cool.
I kind of like
yeah, I get it.
I was so overthinking and detailed that I feel like Hyperion Freakers would be like, what the hell, John? What did he call me earlier? I thought it was just really funny.
I don't remember. I remember him saying like if you're okay with it, it's in the right direction.
It's like it's so serious. Yeah. This sounded so complicated and serious. I'm like, that's just me. Yeah, that's my personality. Is how can I like my the sketch show I've written. It's basically the theme of my like bits is if somebody were to overthink something to the 10th degree, what is that like? And it's very fun.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
I just noticed there's like an Emerald City in the top right that's not totally fleshed out.
I don't mind having stuff that's like, oh, what is this over here? We don't like.
We have no idea.
No,
yeah.
That to me could be like USDT, and I'll figure that out later. So like USDT does not need to be on the map at all, because that's going to be more like
that's what Tether is.
Yeah, well, it's going to be more like, and then here's Russia, like attacking. You've been playing the Oregon Trail. Now that you've colonized the U.S., Russia attacks.
Yeah, here's the fiat supervillain.
Yeah, it's essentially what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I want us to play in the cryptocurrency world as long as we can without Tether, and then later we'll add Tether in.
Cool. Interesting. So I like it. This is going to be fun. All right, I'm going to grind out some stuff to see if I can learn how to use this better to create the things we want and need. This has been good. This has been educational for me too, because I just got this running yesterday. So if I've gone from not knowing anything to this in one day, then I can probably take some tips from websites and stuff to try some different models, maybe like checkpoints. There's also different things that are not checkpoints in models that you can add to it. I don't know how they work, but I've seen them around. So plenty of undiscovered territory here.
Yeah, go put my thing in World Blockchain Roundtable in the next minute, so that way you can vote in the first hour.
Oh, I'm logged out. Find out what the world blockchain is. All right. What do you want me to give you?
All of it. Give me
No.
everything.
No, because I just got a bunch I'm buying a camera from Jacob Wayne with Matter. And I just went out and got a bunch of Matter for
just
that.
give me a bunch
and
of
currently
energy.
I have that. Yeah.
No,
right. But I'm not going to give you 40,000 energy around this. I'm going to give you,
it's pretty
give
good.
you 6,000.
That's fine.
Let me give you 6,000.
I think it's worth it because it re-ups at the end of the day. So who cares?
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to.
You don't want.
I don't want you to earn 700 Matter out of the 1,000 that everybody gets to earn because I stepped in as a whale. In ironically, this whale spotting thing.
So here's my.
Maybe
question.
that's funny though. I don't know.
No, I think it's funny. Two, that's literally what it's for. When you find the content that you want being published on Den, don't be biased because you know the person. Be like, it's like if anything, that's more of an incentive to do it because I love this stuff. I want John to stick around and keep making this stuff and keep doing these things. Here's all of my dollars. Take the dollars is the idea.
All right, here's 17,000. You convinced me. You convinced me.
Thanks. Because like I feel like, yeah, if I want all the dollars, but like my point is that like if there's content out there that you really like and you want to see more of, but you're like, I don't want people to think I'm just a whale. It's like, no, like this is what we want. Like we want to know what Dave wants more of.
That is supposed to be the way that it works. Is you're supposed to push specifically what you want to see more of way to the top.
And you
put a lot of work into this, so that's fair. Okay, all right, I'm convinced. See how easy it is to convince me to change my mind on something.
And people can downvote it still, so you can still have a consensus of it being negative. So just because you gave me a whole bunch of happy points doesn't mean that it's going to be happy for the community.
You know what's funny is the way it works is if it is consensus negative, all my 28,000 energy will be applied as negative 28,000.
Yeah.
So there is a gamble there. It isn't all straightforward. Yeah.
I hope people like it, man.
So I'm betting big that people are going to like it is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for hashing it out.
There you go.
All right. Bad Hair Club. I hope you'll help us play the game. Hyro, Hyperion Frequency, Juicy J. Thanks. This was a marathon, but it was interesting and useful.
Yeah.
So we'll be back again to do it again next week. We should
post some of the stuff in the tabletop layer. Try to get that thing going.
Yeah. I'll hit up John Peacock too, the guy that helped me make that Fallout 4 mod a while back, because he owns part of the tabletop layer, and I haven't seen him around for like a year. So I'll see if he's still around or not. I hope he's doing okay.
Sounds good. And then let me know if you want to meet up with Joe today. I could probably meet with Joe today, this afternoon, or if you want to meet up with Joe on Friday. Thursday I'm booked. Like,
let's shoot for Friday.
Okay.
Let's shoot for Friday. I'll hit him up. That'll give some heads up, because he's honestly, there's a lot of stuff going on with
this is
a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he's got, he's meeting with a couple of partners and customers. And am I missing a meeting right now? I might be missing a meeting right now. Oh, I'm not on that meeting. Cool. Nope. They're on a meeting with a partner right now with a thing we're doing. So Friday sounds good. Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll hit you up later, John. We'll pick which assets we want to run with. And then once we have a map, we can really that's something to look at and be like, oh man, what's it going to be like to travel around this map?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. All right. So that was fun. That was long, but that was fun.
Yeah. Adderall's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. I have just coffee and water. And that is the only drugs I'm on is caffeine at the moment.
I've got a new prescription, so
man, my face is washed out. I'm on Linux right now for this, and I don't know how to use my camera controls, so it's like everything's weird and washed out kind of thing. Doesn't matter now because we're going away. All right, we'll see you next week. Let's use the coffee layer to work on this tabletop game until we have something else we want to use. If we need to just post, especially once we get to a map and we agree on a map, we can post that and be like, here's where we're going to be. Here's where we're playing.
I think even throwing out the fan art though, that's cool. Bro, check out these pirates. Check out these Monero pirates. The
coffee layer is literally like another random layer.
Yeah.
It's for whatever you want to talk about.
check out this Doge fucking lead.
Yeah,
like
and anybody can do that.
I think that's what's going to make people the most excited. Honestly, they're not like the map. I think it's the thing you release, like a couple days before you shoot, like before it's released. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like the first thing you see of like the new Star Wars movie isn't the map. It's the new weird goblin and this is what the new BB-8 might look like.
True. That's very true. Yeah.
Or R2D2. Let's go with that reference instead of BB-8.
Yeah. Bowling ball 8.
Exactly.
It's like 888 3D. BB-8.
Yeah, 8888. I think it's funny that Bill Hader does not sign Star Wars merch.
No.
Yeah, he does the voice of BB-8, but it's just
he
him
won't.
going.
This R2 unit has a bad motivator. All right. While my motivator is still intact, I'm going to keep working on stuff. Right? No, that's what he said. That's what it is. Episode 4. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say next time I break down on the side of the road. My car doesn't work anymore. Oh, this car has a bad motivator.
I'm not motivating my car.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's meet back up later and get out of here. Thanks, everybody. See you around. Here's a song from Y'all Weird called Into the Dragon. Cheers.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best. Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.